The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Now broadcasting from the Right to Offend Media Studios in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, art, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report Live with Sam Whitfield.
But giving offense is good. In fact, it's essential.
You know, folks, it's been a interesting year here at Right to Offend Media. Lots of ups and lots of downs, unfortunately, that have happened this year. But through it all, I first of all want to welcome you to the program. And also, I want to thank you all because we have some really good news tonight. But first off, happy belated birthday to my co-host, Mr. Max Sand.
Oh yeah, happy belated, Max. Yeah,
thank you for being here.
Bunch of pumpkin flavored beer.
Hell yeah, brother! That's the best way to celebrate. And I'm told you got a couple of cool things for your birthday.
Well, this came to me because this is a Malcolm X comic book. You can kind of see for yourself. It's unopened. It's from 1993. Belonged to her father, my father-in-law. And just coincidentally, her mom was bringing over a stack of comics for our boy. He likes to read comic books. You know, he's third grade now, and he likes reading. And they told him he could read comics, so he feels like it's a cheat code.
Nice.
That's what we like. So
it's definitely a cheat code.
I'm looking through it. I'm like, well, first thing is that this is not age appropriate for him. So
right.
I was like, it's the only one that's true of. I looked through all the others. They're Batman and Spider-Man. And I was like, your dad probably meant this for my birthday.
Nice.
He kept it for 30 years without even reading it. So we're going to open it up and take a look tonight. It's not worth all that much money, except sentimentally to me. And I think it's fucking cool. And the reason he got it is because he thought the cover was cool, clearly. And it is. Look at this artwork of Malcolm.
Beautiful.
That's
actually
cool. And I think it should be celebrated. I couldn't even find scans of it on the internet when I was looking, just so I could look at it before I even open it up. Because it is mint condition. And I saw it selling between $8 and $12, which is a lot for a comic book, actually, especially an independent print. This is from Millennium Publishing. It does not, as you may notice, have the comic book code of authority on it because the subject matter is a little too heavy. I looked into it to make sure my instinct as a dad was right. And yeah, it's for like 7th to 9th grade reading level. But I passed the 7th grade, Sam. And so we're going to take a look.
I'm not sure about that.
Art. And, one day maybe he'll take a look at it too. But I think Bubba would enjoy taking a look at some of this cool artwork from the 90s of a cool person that we've talked about. I've talked about my admiration for Malcolm X on the show before.
Yeah. Well, and we've also talked about how you and I both grew up reading comic books too. So as far as topics go, that's a very topical thing for all of us.
Also, though, got myself a list, top 10 list, and I'm we could do it whenever. I just want to give out the title because you'll get a kick out of this one, Sam. It's the top 10 silliest things that could happen at the Twitch Reddit YouTube.com/Discord/Steam Senate hearings. They're
Oh,
calling them in front
boy.
of the Senate, Sam. They're calling CEOs in. We're going to think of some of the funny things that could happen live in front of Congress.
Oh boy, that ought to be good. I have a story to share with the audience kind of at the beginning of the program. I know it was your birthday weekend, Max, and I appreciate that.
Also got this dope hoodie real quick. Go ahead.
That is an
That's
awesome
awesome.
hoodie, and for those, holy crap! Like that's even an eagle on the
Yeah.
you know, on the front
Yeah,
there.
that's that was
For
from
those
my
who
mother-in-law.
for those who only listen to the audio podcast, like I really do encourage you guys to watch the video on
Well,
Rumble,
especially
YouTube,
this one
or
because you're gonna miss
Spotify.
out on the awesome Malcolm X comic art that we're gonna talk about. But if you want to see it, you're only gonna see it on 4 or 5 different platforms we've got now.
Right. But
Check it out on
before
X, on Rumble, on YouTube, and Kick. Right? Did I miss
Yep.
anything?
Nope, I think we're good. Unless there are any other like clip channels that clip this that I'm not aware of. We appreciate anyone who does, by the way. But right at the outset of the program, I posted this earlier today on X. But the reason why I didn't do a Monday show this week was because I was waiting for a new microphone to come in for the setup. Ladies and gentlemen, as anyone who is familiar with anything with radio and podcasting knows, the Shure brand of microphones is kind of the gold standard, I would say, of broadcasting. Basically, any like major podcaster who has been in broadcasting either has like a Rode or a Shure, which the Rode is kind of out of a lot of indie podcasters' budgets, but Shure has made a couple of more like budget-friendly microphones, and so I've been looking at getting a Shure for the last couple of years, but I haven't really been able to pull the trigger until recently, and that's because, well, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, you all have been very generous within this last year, in particular with buying
The people.
my
The
books.
people came through for you, Sam.
They bought.
They did, and I really appreciate that. And so thanks to everyone who has gone out and purchased Sins of the Assassin this year and Night of the Vigilante, which is out of my reach at the moment, but it's just those two books have been like great sellers for us both, and I really appreciate it. And Max seems to be getting teary-eyed actually about the audience supporting the show. Which
Yeah, totally. Teared up. Not joking.
This may actually tear you up a bit because about 2 weeks ago I received I don't check my PayPal for the show that often, but I checked it this past weekend and I received 2 very generous donations from anonymous people. It literally said anonymous, so I don't know who donated. But
You're
these
being
two
tracked
people
by
wanted
anonymous, Sam.
but these people wanted to donate to the show in memory of Charlie Kirk actually. And so they asked I use their donations to improve the show in memory of Charlie Kirk, and so that is precisely what I did by buying this new microphone and the stand, and so hopefully, I actually sound I mean, I've always
Well,
tried
and we got to
to do
live
it.
up to bettering the show in other ways too. You know, it can't just be audio quality. It's luckily I came prepared for once. Well, I usually bring a
Yes,
list. I try.
but regardless, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for purchasing the books over the years, and
Oh,
thank you to those two anonymous listeners too. You have no idea how much this means to me and to us, especially in Charlie Kirk's memory. I've n- I don't think I've grieved for someone like this since my uncle died, and that was 10
Well,
years ago.
and we were kind of like right
Um,
out there in the open with it almost immediately. So people kind of saw us go through the process too. I'm sure that anybody that watched that probably had some feelings on that particular episode because everything was kind of raw.
yeah, I definitely think that was. I mean, I actually went back and watched like parts of it, and that episode was like we literally did it off the cuff, like no intros, no nothing. And obviously we're still kind of grieving, and I do have some thoughts on kind of the whole some of the conspiracy theories that have popped up with Charlie Kirk's death, but we'll get to that later on in the program. Right now, I want to focus on positive things because I do think like I said, the audience supporting the show and buying the books, you know, like props to the audience for supporting the show. We really appreciate that. And also, just thank you all for viewing this show week, after week, whether it be listening to us live or supporting the show on all the different podcast platforms. But anyway, Max also has a top 10 list, so I
Well,
don't know where
you
you want
know,
to.
you said bring back the HUAC. Well, the closest thing we're getting so far is they're calling some of these tech CEOs like Discord. I'd love to hear some of the Discord part. I got to go back and watch this hearing. I guess it was today.
It started today, correct?
I've been too busy, but what I did is I thought of some fun things, predictions of things that if they occurred would strike me as very funny during these hearings. So the hearings are going to be calling the CEOs of Reddit, Twitch, CEO, and Steam, which is going to be fun because Gabe is probably going to have answers better than all the other three because it's Gabe.
Probably.
But, this is the top 10 silliest things that could happen at the Twitch, Reddit, Discord, Steam Senate hearings. Number 10, they talk about VTubing. Imagine this. Bunch of boomer senators sitting up there having a conversation about VTubing. Do you
That would be
think
funny.
somebody will mention that they should
Yeah, I
regulate
would
it because
imagine.
it's anonymous?
Probably.
Probably,
They'll call it
which is a terrible
deceptive
idea.
practices or something. Number
Yeah.
9. This one I think is a little more in the serious vein, and we might see this, Sam. Number 9, a serious discussion about the implications of violent rhetoric among e-girls. E-girls calling for political violence will be a discussion at these hearings, and I'm here to watch because that's hilarious.
E-girl and Anissa.
So e-girls call for violence, but well, I mean, do they call for violence amongst each other? Because women tend to do that, unfortunately. I've noticed.
Especially if they're getting called before Congress. Them catfights is going to be legendary, Sam. Legendary. Number 8, Asmongold or Tectone get called to testify. Gamer rants go to Washington. Everybody claps. Imagine that. You got Asmongold in front of the Senate sitting there giving a gamer rant. Gamergate has not only won, we took over the world.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, which like I know that Sargon wanted Donald Trump to, tweet out about Gamergate, but if you ask me, this kind of almost beats that tenfold.
That's right. We just are Gamergate, apparently. And even if you weren't, that's what I wasn't. But it doesn't matter. We are now. We're all Gamergate.
We're
Yes,
all at least
yes.
Gamergate 2 now.
Even the Mexican trucker guy that's never played a video game in his life, but has been a legal citizen of the U.S. his whole fucking life, you're a gamer too, bro. Because you want to get rid of the illegals. You're a gamer. That's it. Are you a gamer? Do you want to deport illegals? Same question, Sam. Same question. 7.
Yes and yes.
7. Videos of Hassan advocating violence played on the Senate floor. That's gonna happen.
If that doesn't happen, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. And I just hope it's a really funny edit. Right? Number 6. A reference to Ludwig / Jellywig. Let's up those numbers.
Yes.
Somebody got to say, let's up those numbers while they're talking this on the Senate floor. I would pay to see it. Number 5, the entire Senate stops for a moment to take in how fat Frogan is. My wife writing out this list is
Yeah,
like,
that
number 5. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Number 4, Dan Clancy starts gooning to e-girls right on the stand.
Number 3, Dan Clancy starts gooning to Hassan Piker right on the stand.
I got more Hassans in the chamber. Number 3, Reddit mods masturbation habits and furry porn being discussed on the Senate floor.
I can't believe I had to fucking write that.
I made her write that. That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Like, they're gonna be talking about these Discord mods who make violent threats and share furry porn, Sam. This is going to happen. Our enemies are also really fucking weird on top of being evil. They like furries. I don't know why. They like all this crazy shit.
Because they can't get along with normal humans.
Speaking of crazy things in Congress, number 2, a Nux Taku video gets played to Congress.
Oh dear God. I
That can
almost feel
happen.
sorry for them. Almost.
Well, at least it'll
God.
be entertaining. Oh shit, I threw the list.
Oh
again.
yes.
Oh no. You gotta read them back. I only had number 1 left. Top 10 silliest things that could happen at the Twitch, Reddit, Discord, Steam, Senate hearings. Number 10, they talk about VTubing. Number 9, a serious discussion about the implications of violent rhetoric among e-girls. Number 8, Asmongold or Tectone called to testify. Gamer rants go to Washington. Everyone claps. Number 7, videos of Hassan advocating violence played on the Senate floor. Number 6, a reference to Ludwig / Jellywig. Let's up those numbers. Number 5, the entire Senate stops for a moment to take in how fat Frogan is. Number 4, Dan Clancy starts gooning to e-girls right on the stand. Number 3, Reddit mod masturbation habits and furry porn discussed on the Senate floor. Number 2, Nux Taku video gets played to Congress. And the number 1 silliest thing that could happen at these fucking hearings, Hassan called to testify. Blames it all on Asmongold.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sure that will actually happen.
If he gets called to testify, he is going to say the name Asmongold on the stand. You bet he can't go a stream without saying it. How's he going to go to Congress without saying it? That's our top 10. Enjoy the hearings and enjoy the commies getting arrested, Sam. I think that's more the topic of the show.
Yeah, that is kind of the topic of the show. You know, people so just for background context, I've been saying for years that HUAC that Joe McCarthy did nothing wrong and that HUAC needs to be reinstated. That's a thing that Michael Savage has also been saying for years, and people have been saying, "Oh, that's Sam, that's really harsh. Why would you want political persecution to happen? The way I see it's not political persecution, especially since the left is like openly celebrating Charlie Kirk's
It
death, and
never was. That's the
you
trick,
know,
Sam. It was never political. The HUAC was not political persecution. It's not a witch hunt. If the witches are real, it's a communist hunt. And the communists were very real.
facts.
Alger Hiss, the Secretary of fucking State, is it now an identified, confirmed, known, on tape in his own fucking words, agent of the Soviet government. The witch was fucking real, bro.
Yes.
You ain't burning a witch because witch implies that they're using magic that's not real, and that's silly. Why would you burn somebody? No, these were people acting against the interest of their country from a position of power in the interest of another.
Well, now
Crazy.
now here the other thing is like the anti-Americans out there like aren't even trying to like hide their contempt anymore.
I know. They used to pretend they were, no, I'm not a commie. No, I love America. Now they're like, tear it down. Bro, I keep saying we're the counter-revolution. If we're going to be the counter-revolutionary, you got to call it out like it is, that the revolution is fucking retarded. Whether it's real, whether it's strong, whether it's healthy and getting things done, whether it's failing miserably and on the run, this revolution, this branch of their revolution, this part of the endless leftist revolution against everything is retarded. They have bad strategy. They offend everybody to the point where they can't even get their ideas across to them anymore. They're engaged in violence, which is grotesque to most people. They keep advocating for more violence, which again is going to be grotesque to the normal person. So be thankful, counter-revolutionary brethren out there, that the revolution is retarded. Back to you, Sam.
Yes, absolutely. And now at least like part of the revolution is like eating itself too, which, you know, to be fair, like that happens often. But see, like Hassan Piker, and I know people have talked about this a lot today, but I can't I can't not talk at this because Hassan may be dealing with the ASPCA here very soon if he hasn't already.
Yo, he
Because
fucked his dog? What the fuck?
well, I mean he's
Yo, Hassan,
he's
you
not
can't
one of
be
the
fucking your dog, bro. I ain't
okay.
heard this
He's not one
yet,
of the.
Sam.
He's not one of those Muslims, at least not yet. Not that we know of.
Okay, so he's
But
a Reddit mod. I get it. Same difference. Like, leave the dog alone, man. Go get like a girlfriend or a boyfriend or something. Jeez.
well, I mean, getting a girlfriend would require him not having such a bad temper, and but you know, even so, like
Yeah, but that doesn't excuse fucking the dog.
well, I mean considering that the dog is female, he does abuse women too. I mean,
Well,
does he?
I just keep seeing that Hassan abused his dog, and I'm like, yo, how does everybody know that this guy fucked his dog and nobody went to arrest him yet?
I don't know, but
it just happened today, I think.
Is it
Or
just
yesterday.
California you can do that or something?
Wouldn't
well,
doubt it.
well,
It is California.
well, you know, you can get away with like a lot of weird shit in California, like I don't know, not disclosing to your partners if you have like AIDS or shit. Which, by the way, folks, if you don't know, is a real thing. Like, you don't actually have to disclose.
I'll say this, Sam,
STDs.
though. Do you have to disclose it to your partner if you have human immunodeficiency virus, right? If your partner is a canine. See, he doesn't have to tell if he's got AIDS. Because they can't get the human virus because they're a dog, see? That's why he's doing it. I get it. Now, still, he needs to be locked up for that, Sam. You can't be fucking your dog, Hassan. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, though, I know people have seen this, but just in case you haven't, I figured.
I don't want to see him fuck the dog. That's gross.
Well, I mean, Kiwi Farms didn't go that far, thank God.
Oh, thank God.
I mean, even Kiwi Farms has limits backs. I don't know if you know this, but yeah, I mean, even the farm,
There's gonna
even
be
this
one
was too
guy.
extreme
There's
for
gonna
the
be one guy
farms.
that views this at some point and is gonna think I'm super fucking serious and like oblivious to everything. And to that guy, you are my best friend now. Go ahead, Sam.
Indeed. But anyway, for those who haven't seen this somehow today, let's take a look. And before we begin, I want to play this clip, and then I want to hear Morpheus's opinion on this, since he is the overlord / doggo lover of the crew.
My old roommate wanted to use a shock collar for Fish and his dogs. For Fish and his dogs barking. I couldn't do it. I have it still. I bought it. They are incredibly effective.
So that's one clip where he's like admitting to using shot collars. Apparently, also there's this clip.
This is the clip.
I hate this.
Yeah, this is the clip that everyone's talking about.
Yep.
I hate this fucking country so much.
Then leave.
Leave.
You
Then
can be on a
fucking leave.
fucking mountain in the middle of Norway and get better internet than Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, and a hive infested.
And this
with
is just
18
like
bajillion people. I wonder why
a
that's
moment of
problem.
anger. This is a moment of fucking anger for like something that is just so routine, so silly, such a first world problem. But it is emblematic of all of America's much more consequential violence. Okay? It's the same reason as to why America, Kaya, please just fucking go, just stop.
That's fucking piece of
Jesus
shit.
Christ, what are you doing? You're being such a baby. It's just,
Well, it takes one to know one, Hassan.
you're making her stressed. She
No,
just
he
literally
was
is
trying to slickly
so
get away with it.
incredibly
He was
spoiled
trying to
from
play it
my
off like,
mom.
oh, I just said your name. You're being a baby. Yeah, he clearly just shocked that dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no other way
Yeah.
why the dog would yelp randomly. Fuck you, Hassan. Your dog did not stub her fucking toe, did not stub her fucking nail like you tried to fucking excuse it today. You fucking shocked that dog.
And
And
also,
hey,
like,
He used to say that was fine. It's just a fucking dog. Who cares, right? Why did that change? Why is
Yeah.
he defending himself now then? He thinks you have the right to shock your dog and it's just a dog. All of a sudden he gets caught doing it on camera and his story is changed to be like, no, that's not it. It's just a vibrator. First of all, that's why I went with the dog fucking joke. You got your dog a vibrator. First of all, Sam, he wants to talk about it's very effective. What kind of city-ass boy can't train a dog without a shock collar? Are you
Somebody
fucking
that's
kidding
extremely
me?
privileged.
Are you fucking kidding me? Now, a wife I can understand, but a dog? No, they listen.
I'm waiting for it.
I know. It shows when she pays attention or not if I get hit. So yeah, I can understand the shock collar for the wife, but a dog? That's just cruel.
We'll see. Hassan can't get a wife, so a dog is. So a female dog is as close to a woman as he's going to be able to get. By the way, that is not like, I'm not super familiar with dog breeds, but like that's not a cheap like
It's a
dog
designer
breed
dog
he
breed.
has either. Yeah.
Oh, so it's mad inbred too.
Yes,
Well, then that goes
extremely.
triple. Stop fucking your dog, Hassan. What the hell?
Yeah. So like
If I saw Hassan, I would ask him this. It's like, does your mother know you fuck a dog?
well, I mean, he's blaming his mom for like spoiling the dog, so
Oh, wait, he's
maybe.
Muslim. His mom's not allowed an opinion. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, he disses, from what I understand, he
He's a
he
white
does
passing
diss his mom a
Muslim.
lot too. So
Well, his mother is a landlord, and he supposedly hates landlords.
I got hit with
yeah.
birth control pills for that one. That's random. I
And-
Maybe
suffer from
maybe
my
that's
comedy on
and,
this show,
and
Sam.
far safer than what I expected you to get hit with, Max.
Yeah.
This is why I say a shock collar for a wife, because if not, you get fucking birth control pills hitting you in the head and make a joke, you know?
Well, but see, the thing of it is she could put the shot collar on you.
All that dog did is
So-
like move around a little bit. You get a shock for that. Shit.
Literally, all the dog did was literally move like a half a foot, and it pissed off a bitch.
Yeah. Also, like Hassan, maybe if you weren't like dogs can read dogs can like sense
Maybe, Hassan,
emotion.
if you weren't fucking on stream for 5 to 8 hours a goddamn fucking day, making the dog fucking sit and not fucking move around, you wouldn't have fucking
Why
problems.
have a dog that's not allowed to move? Like, oh, the other thing is like, why not just put him in a kennel? Oh, because that looks bad. Well, that's what you're doing.
You know, kennels. Speaking as someone who had a service dog, like if you're going to be streaming for like a long time, and if you're going to be raging out too, which Hassan does, like every single day, put the dog in a kennel because like that calms them. The reason why your dog is agitated is because you're always fucking agitated, Hassan, and
That
you
dog
know,
wasn't even agitated. That dog's like, I'm gonna take a walk.
A dog
Stepped
is-
one foot off its little off the floor dog bed, and he fucking shocked it. That's insane to me. That's
Yeah.
a level of control that a psychopath would use.
Yeah, literally, dog did literally nothing fucking wrong, and the psycho bastard fucking shocks the dog.
And he's supposed
You
to be the
know-
one telling us how much he cares about people and things, right? Get back.
yeah. Well, of
The
course
only
that, of
thing
course
Hassan
that's.
cares about is fucking money.
Of course, that's left wing hypocrisy, right? These are the people who claim to care about, you know, humans, yet they cheer the death of Charlie Kirk, they cheer abortions, and they beat dogs.
They tear the death of
Too.
Jews.
Yep.
and terror attacks.
So you know,
My
Spare
wife
me
has
the,
made the statement several times in the past couple of weeks, Sam, is that she thinks that they don't value the sanctity of life.
yeah, no, Maxine, that's a very that is like a peak accurate statement. I couldn't say any better myself. And that's another reason why I think we need to bring back HUAC. America was founded on valuing human life, and if you don't value human life, well then I question whether or not you should even be here.
Well, and here's the thing is like even the leftist revolution valued that because that's this man's whole fucking message was about the dignity, respect, and humanity of the black community who wasn't being treated with it and trying to get that respect. And when he says something like the title of the graphic novel here is by any means necessary, well, that scared some people, didn't it? But what he was talking about was defending their sanctity of life in the face of a system that says that they're not allowed to. And now he's
Right.
labeled as a violent, the violent one, right? MLK is the good one, and he's the violent one. We'll get to that, but it's just interesting that like the left now doesn't value that. But if you look at the leaders of the revolution in the 60s and 70s of this same strain of thought, they actually did care about the conditions of the working class and the material conditions of the people and things like this. These people don't seem to give a fuck. Hassan's sitting there with his fancy dog and his fancy car and his fancy LA apartment bitching about internet speed. Oh yeah, he's the real revolution, guys.
He's a glorified video game streamer.
So to bring it right back is, do I think he should have to answer in front of Congress? Yeah, at this the committee I was just talking about, at the very least. Should we bring back a committee to deal with Antifa? Maybe it won't be the HUAC exactly, but yeah, I do. Trump has vowed to dismantle them the same way they dismantled ISIS and they're going to do the cartels. I think that's a good step.
Yeah.
I do believe you should have the right to be a communist in this country, but you don't have the right to be a violent revolutionary. These are different things.
That is the key. That is the key distinction. And I actually do want to point out too, someone actually messaged me this. I don't want to mention this gentleman's name, but he
it was
is
Bill. No, I'm just fucking with you.
No,
I said the first name that came in my head.
It's not Phil, but it's someone who.
I said Bill.
Oh,
I was just making up a name.
Well, it's not Bill either, but it's a gentleman.
It's Gary.
Maybe it's a well, for the sake of this for the sake, I'm just gonna call this gentleman Hugh, because this gentleman is someone who has listened to the show, and like me is also a fellow Playboy collector, and he pointed out that while Hugh Hefner did ascribe to some more liberal policies, he too was not in favor of like violent revolutions. That was the type of lefty that he actually despised. Famously,
oh my god, he was friends with the Gonzo journalism guy there.
Well, Hef was also
all kinds of weird political characters, is my point.
Well, he was friends with William F. Buckley Jr., who, was, both of them were against like violent revolution. Well, Christopher, you want to talk about people always asking, was there anyone on the left who influenced you, Sam? I'll tell you who. Christopher Hitchens. Hitch was an atheist. And I wouldn't say super far left,
but atheist too.
Yeah, and he was a Marxist until he like got older in the 80s and realized, oh, Marxism is stupid and kind of retarded. And he was one of the first people to criticize the Clintons, like while they were in power too. And he kind of warned about like how, extreme leftism, or wokeism as we call it, would consume, like decent liberalism, which is where we find ourselves today. So I find it interesting that we
the enemy of the black revolutionary is the white liberal, says Malcolm X.
And he's right.
And boy, was he correct about that. He also said that you couldn't believe anything that was published in a newspaper, or I know I'm butchering that quote, but he said something, basically to that effect.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was right. So yeah, that's a great comic that you got there. Max.
Yeah, I might as well. I needed it. I got it on my birthday, and I've just left it sealed because I was like, I'll open it on the show, take a look at some of this artwork. This is the first time I'm breaking the seal on it there.
Ooh, cool.
Get a nice shot of
Love
that.
cover.
Yeah, that's dope.
And
then the back. I like the back too. It's a very good If I can
That's
get
awesome.
the glare off of it. X stands for the unknown. So, if
Yeah.
you're not aware, why is his name Malcolm X? That's because he was born Malcolm Little, and that was his slave name. He said that it was a name given to him by his father, who it was given by his grandfather and great-grandfather, and so on. And that person their name was taken away and given it to a new name by master. That name was Little, so he rejected that name because it didn't come from his family. It wasn't, it's not an earned thing. And with that, he felt like his history was also taken from him. And the Black American as a whole, which he referred to as Negroes, that was the word that he used, Negro Americans,
Yes.
or Black Americans, or Afro Americans. These are words that he would use frequently because he didn't like the term colored that got used before, or, other less nice terms. Some today don't like to use the term black, but that is, he's the one that kind of brought that into the culture of the idea of black as an identity. And that's kind of why so many of them revere him and talked about their humanity and dignity. And so I feel like I already opened this up, man, and look at this first page. This is what I mean. Look at this art. I didn't even read it. Just, you got that picture of the Klan there with the burning cross to start things off. That's what I meant. This is clearly not age appropriate for my son.
Which
Yeah,
I know that the imagery that it's depicting is horrific, like in historical context, right? But that is a beautiful, it's beautifully done, as horrific as the scene it's portraying it.
Yeah, and it's
Is.
sort of like the prelude, right? Because it's got a little bit of everything of the era and him sort of growing up,
Yeah.
going to jail, meeting the NOI, but then eventually converting to Islam. That's another thing. So people often will equate, and rightly so, Malcolm X with the Nation of Islam. Louis Farrakhan's outfit these days, I believe. Previously, before him, it was Elijah Muhammad. They called him the Prophet. Whatever you want to say about Elijah Muhammad, at a certain point, Malcolm X had become the speaker of the organization. They had a belief that a lot of their beliefs don't actually come from the Quran. They kind of are their own thing, but they believed that God was going to kill all the white people. And for a while, Malcolm was the perfect follower to this principle. And that's where, when you hear he's a racist and he's violent, well, one, I would say even at that point, he was not advocating what I would call even close to what these leftists are advocating today. What he was talking about is, if a police officer is beating your ass unjustly, defending yourself is not a crime in he was talking about natural law, Sam. And
Right.
I feel strongly about that.
As do I, as a student of John Locke's philosophy, yes.
Right. And so what he's saying is if we're treated as less than citizens, if we're not given equal footing, then we will defend ourselves. That is not the same as advocating a violent revolution. And what Malcolm X was advocating was actually separation. He felt that for many reasons, that they couldn't trust white man, and it's not entirely white man's fault. It's not. He said it's because of this nature of history. Most black people will not be able to trust white people, and perhaps we should separate and live separate lives. At least the people who want to. That was Malcolm X's thing, which is why he talked to people in the Klan, and he talked to George Lincoln Rockwell, who was the head of the neo-Nazi Party of America or whatever. He talked to a lot of people, which is interesting when they say that he was like a hateful, racist kind of guy, is that he would debate his ideas with anybody. And you cannot find me an instance of Malcolm Little or Malcolm X, as he was known later in life, committing any kind of violence or advocating any direct action.
Yeah, shout out to Daryl Davis too, by the way. I mean, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say that he's, I think it's unfair to compare people to Malcolm X, but like, Daryl Davis has famously he's been on Joe Rogan's podcast. He's even been on a
Well,
friend of the show,
the reason
John
it's not
Guarnieri's
the same,
podcast.
Sam, is because Malcolm X talked to these guys about his racism. But I wanted to point out that there was a time when he split from the Prophet Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam. They kicked him out and he went to Mecca and he prayed with white Muslims and he prayed with Asian Muslims and he prayed with everybody basically. And he saw that there is hope for humanity. But he said the only hope for humanity to come together is we have to come together under a God. He believed it to be the God of Islam, Allah, but he said it has to be God. We as humans cannot unite without God, was his message.
There's which funny because a lot of left wingers are literally godless these days.
And
There
especially the
there's
black man isn't going to get anywhere without God because that's who he was mostly talking to, right?
yeah.
For
There's
whatever
a
that's
theory
worth.
out there, Max, and I'm genuinely curious to know your thoughts, but there is a theory that's been circulating for years that the Muslim Brotherhood is the one that uh murdered Malcolm X.
I think the CIA killed Malcolm X, to be honest with you, and it's tough. Like I said, I wanted those files. You notice how all the assassinations of that era, that's the one we didn't get. And it's probably the most blatant one. So the one man who was caught on scene. So Malcolm was shot 16 times, Sam, while he was preaching on stage in front of an entire room full of about 500 mostly black, almost entirely black people in his mosque.
What year was this? I
1963, I want to say 63 or 67. It's in the 60s. And
okay,
anyway, he's
I'll
preaching. He's doing his normal routine. It's a normal Sunday night. He would do this every week. And then there's some commotion, right, up front. This is the story everybody on the scene tells. Everybody, there's differences, but the main story is there's some commotion with a couple of men up front. And Malcolm notices this and he raises his hand and he says, "Cool it, brothers and sisters." And when he says that, he gets shot 16 times. And those are the last words he ever uttered. It's a ghastly scene. I'm not going to get into detail. I'm sure there might be some artwork in here that I will show for the better part. But if you thought the Charlie Kirk shooting was bad, imagine 16 of them. Because that's what happened to Malcolm, right? He was not alive when he hit the floor. And then because it's the 60s in America, Sam, in New York City, they went across the street to the medical facility and they said, "We have a man shot. Malcolm's been shot." They say, let's say, "Can we at least get a stretcher?" They had to carry his congregation, Sam, had to carry him to the medical facility dead on a stretcher themselves because they wouldn't respond to the scene. So when people say the racism of that era wasn't real, dude, 16 times shot in a church. This was, we see now shootings in churches, how upset people get. This was an assassination in a church in front of a congregation, including women and children.
Yes. Real quick, too, by the way, let me see if I can pop this up on screen here for you folks. Malcolm X was assassinated on February 21st, 1965, during a speech at the Audubon Ballroom in Manhattan, New York City. He was shot by 3 members of the Nation of Islam.
Okay, so that's where the dispute is. So the one guy that was caught was a member of the Nation of Islam. He says he didn't do it because of that. He says he did it for different reasons, arguments about politics and such. The other two men fled the scene. The two men that were later arrested have been acquitted later on. They were completely cleared of the charges. So only one of Malcolm's assailants was ever arrested. And it's because the crowd on scene jumped on his ass and fucked him up, fucked his leg up. But the other two got out too quick. And I'll tell you the other thing is he said a white man paid him to do it, and I kind of believe him. Now, who was that white man and why did he pay him to do it? He doesn't know.
Well, that's interesting because supposedly there was like a mysterious white guy at RFK's assassination at the hotel. There was a mysterious white guy at JFK's assassination, and there was a mysterious white guy even at Charlie Kirk's assassination a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
it's tough, right? It's tough because you have these stories floating around and maybe it's nothing, but in this case, he's not just hanging around, right? He's a character of the story that he paid them to shoot Malcolm. And we don't know. He's never identified who this mysterious white man is because he didn't know. The guy just said, hey, you guys are having a problem with Malcolm, right? Why don't you get together a couple of guys and shoot him? And I'll pay you, I think it was $7,500, they said. Or the one guy said. The other two guys said it was not them. And then they were fucking acquitted. Or, I'm sorry, what do you call it when the verdict gets thrown out after appeal? That's what they got. There was no evidence that say it was them, basically. They were cleared.
Yeah.
So, now they were members of the Nation of Islam, but again, if they didn't do it, that's irrelevant information, isn't it? And maybe they picked those two guys up because they were NOI members, and the first guy's an NOI member, so why wouldn't you assume his friends are too?
Right.
We just don't know. And these are problems for me because this man was so important to not only Black history, but our country's history. To not know if the CIA had him killed, doesn't that change some things? Certainly it does for me. But I want to show off some of this artwork real quick. You know, we got the young Malcolm.
Sure.
Here. It's got some really cool quotes in it too. This is a quote from Malcolm's father, who was a preacher, a Christian preacher, and he said, "No one knows when the hour of Africa's redemption cometh. It is in the wind. It is coming. One day, like a storm, it will be here." So. It's him as a kid. His house getting firebombed, which is true. His house got firebombed when he was a child by Ku Klux Klan members who were later arrested and charged for it and let go. So yeah, this is a lot of that kind of early life. Clearly, somebody went to great detail to draw this out, though, and I think it's actually well worth seeing. I'll probably even do some scans of it myself. I can't find any online. It's an old independent.
I would be curious to know like because someone actually did like a biographical comic book on both like Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah. Since you're talking about wanting to know, I should throw up the authors, huh?
Yeah, the Don Hillsman, who does the art, like shout out to him. I mean,
even that right there, like look at this. That's like an alternate cover.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, Don Hillsman and Ryan Monahan doing the art. And the cover was Stein Walsh, which, that is, you got to give somebody credit for something like that. That's a beautiful, oil painting right there. of the man in his glory. And unfortunately, this is about what he looked like when he was shot down, because he was shot down very young. And while he was doing amazing work, you know, he had recently, people always said, like, he talked a mad shit. Malcolm talked mad shit about other black leaders, particularly Martin Luther King, right? Because he thought the turn the other cheek shit was kind of lame. That's what he said. He talked about the house slave and the field slave, or as he said, the house Negro and the field Negro. That was his. That's if you find that speech, it's a very good speech to listen to, because it's about the politics of submission and respectability. How much of your identity do you give up and assimilate in order to gain the power to help your people out? It's a very interesting and also very funny speech, because Malcolm was a very funny guy. That's why they didn't like him so much. He could make you think, but he was also very funny.
So I actually asked Grok about the
AI says I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm convinced.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're wrong.
Hagen confessed to the shooting. Yes, and he also said he got paid by a white man. The AI doesn't know that part, because that's in the fucking court testimony. So if Sam, let me ask your super mega brain AI this: if fucking the CIA paid the guy to do it, did they work for the CIA?
I mean, I would say yes.
Right.
Independent contractor.
But mega brained fucking Grok over here is just retarded.
So
no, I mean it's logically follows, right? The guy claims that a guy paid them. I am making a complete out of the blue accusation with no evidence. You looked up evidence on Grok, like I'm fucking saying there's evidence. I'm saying it makes sense with a lot of the things the CIA did around the time, and I'm saying that the evidence is probably contained within those files that I want.
Oh yeah.
Right? So I'm not making a definitive claim that Grok could check, but it is amazing that it didn't want to include the part where the only guy that's still in jail for the crime who confessed to it said a white man in a trench coat paid them $7,500 to do it, and he already didn't like Malcolm because he left the NOI, so fuck it, right?
Well, let's look at and see. This is where I do like Grok over ChatGPT for like sources, because Grok will actually like listed sources. Who are
As
the
you
top
can see, I'm
like
not the only
two
person
sources?
making the claim.
Oh yeah, no, there's no denying that. But like, I wanted to point out that Grok is getting like two of its main sources on this from the fucking CIA, from CIA.gov, which, like, you know, that's not like obviously the CIA is
Hold on,
obviously the
can you put
CIA's
me up full
website is
screen for
going to
1
be
second,
completely
Sam? This panel goes so fucking hard.
Sure. Let's see. Oh no, didn't mean to do that. Let's.
Can you read that last panel? He's talking to his teacher, and he gets the right answer. And what did the teacher say?
But Malcolm, you're a beep.
That goes hard, dog.
Yeah.
And that's, you know.
90s. Yeah. Definitely
But that's
no.
what happened,
definitely
though.
no.
That is what his teacher said to him. He got the right answer, and he got asked if he could go on the trip or whatever. There was a prize for the person that got the right answer. And they said, "No, you can't." It was a trip, I believe. And they said, "Nah, you can't go on the trip because you're the N-word. So you're not allowed. Can't get on the bus with the white people." And the people wonder why he was a little bit of a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
You know? little angry. That'll make you a little mad. I'm just
a
looking
little
through
bit.
for some of the really cool stuff in here. We got this page here says Awakening. And he says, one of the things that appealed to me was in Islam, a man is honored as a human being and not measured by the color of his skin. And that's about when he goes to the whole, like, he goes to Mecca, he has debates with people, he talks to racists, he also talks to anti-racists, and that's where he came to believe that he did believe that in the end we could all get along, but he said it was only going to be through an act of God and also us opening our heart to God, more or less. You see here, this is a pretty cool picture. You know, whatever you think of him, of the prophet Elijah Muhammad, right? Although Malcolm did kind of reject him in the end, he is an important historical figure. He's the founder of the Nation of Islam. A little bit of the depiction of the struggle between the two here, and the factions between the NOI members. This shit is long, bro, for a comic book. There's like 80 pages.
Yeah, it's like an actual graphic novel, and or at least that's what it looks like to me.
Well, apparently there's a longer graphic novel version called Malcolm X Lives. Man, I wish I could order that. No, this was a fantastic present, and like I said, when he goes to Mecca, right? Oh my God, look at this, Sam. Look at this page. I really like that. I wonder if I could get a print of just that picture for, like, to hang on my wall. You see this? Hey.
What?
I just said I like this picture.
Okay.
I had to scream to get your attention.
I'm watching the movie.
Yeah.
That is pretty dope.
Here you go. The final quote it leaves it on, actually. You ready? This is the final Malcolm quote in the whole thing. Ahem. Raw, naked truth exchanged between the black man and the white man is what a whole lot more of us need in this country. No. We should yell at each other and yep. Should hate each other.
Yeah,
clearly.
Yeah, we should just yell and persecute each other. Also,
especially the cripples. They don't get enough of that.
Facts.
I know these two cripple guys, man. And because I've been persecuting them, their egos just whoo.
Our wheelchairs are too good.
That's right. Sam gets a wheelchair, then he gets a microphone. Next thing you know,
I got new glasses.
He's a big shot.
yeah, but at least I'm not pulling conspiracy theories about Charlie Kirk's death.
No, you're just furthering conspiracy theories about Malcolm X's death.
Which seems to be a lot less popular, though, huh?
True.
Funny how that works.
I'll say this. A lot of people want to make different comparisons with Charlie Kirk. To me, Charlie Kirk was a Malcolm situation because he's a man of God who likes to debate people getting shot for being too annoyingly true to himself.
Yes, and for also being like overly, and I'm not saying he was overly polite, of course, some people would think I'm overplay play. I'm aware of that, but suffice it to say, there are some people who think that Charlie Kirk was a little too polite sometimes, and well, everything I've read about Malcolm X kind of suggests the same thing.
He wasn't very polite.
So
Well, he was polite, but he was also a complete raw, I'm gonna say something that's gonna piss you off kind of guy too. I mean, is it polite to call
yeah,
the person you're debating white devil, Sam?
no, not
No.
really.
I'm just saying, I compared them because they were both essentially just talking to people when they were killed. The politeness,
That's
you're
true.
gonna find pushback that that's not the same. But it really does boil down to it doesn't matter if they were polite or it's funny because Malcolm X would talk about respectability politics, and I would point that Charlie Kirk kind of lived by respectability politics, and it didn't save him from the same fate, unfortunately. Malcolm X didn't. Malcolm X lived on the edge. He wasn't worried about respectability politics, but Charlie was, and they still considered him a valid target because it doesn't matter how respectable you present yourself to your enemy, they're still your enemy.
Yes, and they still want you dead too.
Seems that way, or at least if you're too much of a thorn in their side.
Which kind of brings me to my to one of my points. I meant to kind of go off on a rant about this last week, but I really don't have anything like bad to say. I know there are people who are kind of like, oh, Eric Kirk should just disappear into the background because she, and take care of her kids because, she's a widow. And
That's not their
I'm not
fucking
sure,
life.
like, how many. Yeah, yeah. First off, it's not their life. Also, like, some of you have clearly never lost a close family member, and it shows because I found, at least when I lost my uncle, that one of the best things I could do was to kind of keep busy and, dive headfirst into, at the time, my college courses and also doing the show. So, maybe Erica Kirk, like, stepping up and, taking over Turning Point and whatnot. Maybe she's just throwing herself into her work. Have any of you ever thought of that?
No, because
Apparently
they're just
not.
concern trolling. They don't actually mean it.
Yeah, which also I thank you for bringing that specific point up, Max, because we actually talked about that like just a few weeks before the Charlie Kirk thing happened, in regards to like people concerned trolling more and it's the exact same thing, and I am going to call out Nick Fuentes specifically because I know people have said that, oh, he did a very nice eulogy for, Charlie Kirk. And at the time, it may have been, respectable, but I don't believe it was genuine because over the last couple weeks, he's done nothing but, like, concern troll Erica Kirk and say that, oh, she had fireworks,
He
for
spent a
herself at his
decade concerned trolling Charlie Kirk. And then all of a sudden he gives a eulogy. It's easy to give a eulogy to a man who everybody universally liked, huh? I'm sure it was real hard for Nick to do that. Being a fake, disingenuous piece of shit.
Yeah.
It probably actually was because he doesn't he's like, oh my God, saying nice things about people. I can't. That's not me. I'm Nick Fuentes. I like
and so all the
Cat Boys.
And so look, I never knew, I knew Charlie a little bit. Never knew Erica Kirk. Maybe maybe someday. If let me put it this way: Maxine is the bigger fan, so she definitely deserves to meet Erica Kirk, I would say. But for going that, I mean, Erica Kirk's done nothing. She's doing a great job so far of running the
That's why
organization,
they're
and it's not
concern trolling. She's effective.
yeah. The only reason why Nick Fuentes is even concerned trolling is because he wants to be the new Charlie Kirk, but he's not going to be because Charlie Kirk was a uniter. He was
and there's not
actually
going to be one. Charlie Kirk wasn't even Charlie Kirk until he died, and I hate to say it like that, but it's true. If everybody looked at him like he was the leader who united everybody, that's bullshit. He had his segment. He acted like that in his life, and people can see the potential where he could have continued to act in that way. But the fact is, you're not going to be the next Charlie Kirk, and you're not going to, you might be able to be a guy. Nick Fuentes won't be anything, but somebody could be a guy that unites a lot of forces on the right, but Charlie didn't achieve that until he died, literally.
right.
Now, we shouldn't lose that just because time has passed. We should stick with that unity that was achieved at such cost and not forget it and not trivialize it. But yeah, all these people trying to claw for his spot disgust me.
Yeah.
You won't get it. You don't deserve it.
Agreed.
That brings me to Candace Owens too, because I haven't mentioned Candace Owens very much on the show, but Max,
we try to
I've
avoid
mentioned
it when it comes up because she's such a fucking head case, man.
So I will say this: I haven't mentioned too much of my. As I've shared before, I have some friends who left Turning Point under under less than desirable circumstances. One of them told me recently, though, that the reason why they left Turning Point was more to do with Candace Owens than Charlie Kirk. And essentially it was, hey Charlie, why do you have Candace Owens in your circle?
Well,
so
she just has that effect on some people, it seems, that they just genuinely like her, even if she's a bit out there. But she is a bit out there, and she always has been. And I frankly think she's going through like a public grieving process in a very bad manner.
Well, I mean,
I
we're
won't
going
deny that she lost a good friend recently. I just don't think she's handling it particularly well. But of course, the people that are into her and believing the stuff she's saying would say that no, she's the only person handling it right, and I'm a crazy person, and I just accept that. That is how it is. You're not going to get through to them.
No, well, that's the whole thing. You're never going to get through to the crazies, but
I'm even open to the theories and stuff. It's not that. It's just how they present. Like the conspiratards out there, you got to understand, when you present it as your truth is the only truth, and if I don't accept your truth, I'm retarded, I choose to be retarded.
Yeah.
Like, show me your evidence. I love to hear it. I'll listen to your theory. I'll understand how it works. That doesn't mean I'm going to believe it. And if you can't accept that I'm not going to believe it, even if I respect you for having it, then I think you're just a crazy person. And that's how I look at Candace Owens. I think she's just a crazy person.
Yeah, even with all
crazy people say things that are right, and she can resonate with certain types of people when she says her normal words. But when she goes off in the deep end, they're not seeing it. And so a lot of normies liked her until recently.
Well, see, the other thing too, though, Max, we've talked at this too, is if people want a conspiracy theory to occur, they'll find any excuse for a conspiracy theory. to to be
especially the people that
true.
don't like Jews. Like, and I'm not gonna
Yeah.
even sit here and pretend, oh no, the Jews never did anything to anybody ever. But man, if you have a thing happen and you have an anti-Semite, they're gonna say the Jews did it before it even happens. Now, that might to them make a lot of sense because the Jews in their mind do literally everything. But if you're a more reserved or conservative minded person about this kind of thing like myself, you're like, wouldn't you want evidence? And they're like, oh, you'll see the evidence, it'll come out. And then it's like, of course you get the evidence that proves your point in hindsight, because you're clinging on to anything that just throws a little shade in that direction and saying it's a fucking bombshell. And you don't have to prove nothing. There's nothing at stake except you making money by lying.
The whole reason why I bring this up, Max, is because people have sent me DMs of this like text message exchange between Charlie and Kansas Owens, which first off, like, I think that's really scummy to do, honestly, to release like your personal DMs,
With
between
a dead man. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a little. It's
beyond
certainly
scummy.
a lot of people are going to have a problem with just that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my whole
And then to
that's
prove
my
your
whole
narrative,
problem.
because he said that Israel wouldn't bully him into any particular position, is obviously in her mind and to the anti-Semite 100% proof that Israel orchestrated this. That's proof to them. Now,
Yeah.
you and I understand that skips a couple of lines of like what you would use normal logic to like solve a problem, right?
Yeah, that's not proof at all.
Right. It's not proof of anything. Well, no, it's proof of he had a change of mind, but then you would need more to prove that change of mind led to action. You'd have to have, like, I don't know, you'd have to have the gun, and you'd have to have the shooter in custody, and you'd have to have like logs of his Discord and his fucking private messages saying he did this. You'd have to have those kind of things, huh, Sam?
Oh, but wait, Max. Well, we don't have those, but the FBI, law
Well,
enforcement
no,
has
actually, we
those.
do have. Well, we don't have the guy in custody, but the rest of it, we have the Discord logs and things. And so you have to then say these are also all fake. Then you have to prove that. But if you check the veracity of the fucking Discord log, Sam, Discord is saying it's true, and you can check their fucking numbers through the database that fucking even Unicorn Riot keeps as a backup of a backup. This, like, it's all verifiable fucking information. So then you're going to have to say, well, then he was fake lying about him doing this whole thing. And actually it was some security guard and a trapdoor and all this other bullshit. But like the evidence is staring you blue in the fucking face that Robinson did it. Sorry. And when you go off on these tangents about I have to reject all of that evidence, why? Because he sent a message to Candace Owens that doesn't say anything related to this. Okay, cool. Well, I guess I'm a sucker, huh?
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not going to name the person who sent me this screenshot, but there's someone who should know better, and so
If we lived in the world that the fucking anti-Semites believe exists, do you understand this, Sam? That by the logic of people like that they are actually doing the exact wrong thing. Because why would you fight them? They're invincible.
Right. Also, like Charlie was the biggest supporter of Israel ever. So why would they want to target? Like, I've asked that, and
he hadn't even come
none
out
of
and said this shit. That's why she's digging out DMs. And by the way, do I think he said this to her? Yeah, he knows how she fucking is. Charlie's a people-pleasing kind of guy, is he not? I bet you
absolutely.
his conversation with another friend at the same time was like, yeah, I told Candace I'm a little sketch about Israel because of this.
Well, even
And he was. He said a couple things
yeah.
in public, but it's nothing different than what I said. And I really genuinely don't think they're going to kill me. I said I didn't like how far Netanyahu's speech went. That's what Charlie was saying.
Right.
Almost
Well,
exactly.
that's the same thing that Craig has even said.
The other Jewish friends I know have said the same fucking thing. They don't like Netanyahu. He goes too far. There ain't nothing wrong with that opinion. That's not an anti-Semitic opinion. That's an anti-Netanyahu opinion. You know, Jews.
Yeah,
can
that actually seems to be like a fairly common take now. Like even a lot of American Jews are like, we support Israel, but hey, BB's going a little far for
Remember
our
when Kanye went on Alex Jones and he had Net in Yuhu?
Yeah.
Turns out he's a comedic genius.
I mean,
it was performance art.
Yeah, that whole entire podcast was wild. My favorite part of that entire thing was the fact that the I think it was either CNN or the New York Times was actually like defending Alex Jones as like the sane one in that conversation. That's a wild day when you have the New York Times like praising Alex Jones. So
we live in strange times, Sam. They don't like what I say on Twitter.
We certainly do.
Living. I got called a white nationalist on Twitter. You see this, Sam, and a poser at that. By
really?
An Antifa vampire tranny troll.
Damn.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I reported them to the FBI and they got very scared. I said, at FBI, this person is part of a terror, or this person identifies as part of a terror organization. And then they never said another word. But they said because I posted on my boy fucking Jake, Making God Great Again, Jake Monroe's channel over here. And I said, yeah, we need to make hardcore and punk great again too. They called me a poser and said I'm a white nationalist because Jake's a white nationalist.
So the old guilt by association trick. Also, like calling you a poser is hilarious.
That's why I posted because of the poser thing. I just randomly, for no reason at all, posted this video of me in a fight that happened between anal cunt and Hatebreed fans in 1999. That's like one of the most legendary moments in the hardcore scene that people still tell stories about. I haven't even told that story on the show, Sam. And that is the metal moment I'm like that most people would have heard of before that I was in the middle of. So I figured I'd share that video just to tell how much of a poser I am, that I was in a fucking fist fight with fucking Seth Putnam and Anal Cunt and a bunch of people against Hatebreed fans when he punched Hatebreed in the face on stage.
Yeah, that's total poser behavior. Max. Totally.
I'm a poser. And now this person that is a drag queen, totally we're going to all the hardcore shows. Because it's not like hardcore shows had queer bashing going on at all, right? Yeah, right, drag queen. Yeah, tell me how you went to Boston Hardcore as a drag queen. Tell me how that went in 1999. You'd have got stomped. You'd have got stomped. I'm not kidding when I say that scene was homophobic, Sam. Openly. So this drag queen wants to tell me that I'm a poser. Well, yeah, you were at the fucking You were over at the ballroom down on fucking what was it, Gradson, over up in Boston. You were at the ballroom, right? On a given Friday night at the punk shows in your drag queen attire. Yeah, no, you wouldn't have been because you'd have got beat up.
Yeah.
Same thing with the living room down in Prov. Same thing down out in Hartford at like the Rhythm and Blues Lounge. Same thing out in Worcester at the Palladium. Same thing out in Springfield. Like, bro, where were you, drag queen, in this time frame going to hardcore shows? I wouldn't have beat you up. I'm just saying you would get beat up, and I'm asking when you did that and didn't get beat up.
Well, my question would be, was this person even alive back?
Or if they were part of the hardcore scene back then, were they doing the drag queen thing at that time?
Well, look, calling me a poser implies all that.
Oh, I know.
You don't call somebody a poser if you're not a part of the scene, right? And unless you've never been a part of the scene in your whole life and you don't understand that principle. Like I can't call somebody a poser in punk, generally speaking, because I don't have ties as deeply to the punk scene as I do the hardcore scene or the hip hop scene, right? But I could call a lot of people punk posers, but not some. There'd be some people that I'm like, yo, I give it respect. That's how it really works, you know? This person's just like, and they spelled poser with a U in it. The fuck?
So at the very least we know that they can't. So at the very least we know that they can't spell at all.
Well, no, it's the fancy way to spell it, but that's exactly the opposite of the point of the word. It's a word for a bunch of working class bros at a metal show. Do you think we cared about spelling it the old-fashioned English way? Or do you think we were like, poser, P-O-S-E-R, poser? Poser. It's not got, it's pose with an R at the end because you're posing. So you are a poser. There is no EU. What the fuck kind of gay shit is that? And it's from a drag queen. What would I expect? Have I got us kicked off YouTube yet, Seb?
Surprisingly, no.
Yay!
But I keep getting gay porn in my YouTube feed, Max, and I don't appreciate it.
Oh, check out, somebody did an awesome Cantwell documentary. I'll have to link you guys. Hey.
Well, I mean, it can't be any more gay than the Nick Fuentes Dave Smith interview that got pushed on my.
Oh, they blew each other? How'd that go?
I haven't watched it yet. Are you kidding me?
My wife's looking at me funny for that comment. No, because Nick Fuentes is obviously gay, and like Dave Smith is obviously gay. So I just figured, if they finally crossed paths, they probably blew each other.
I will say this in all seriousness, though, YouTube, it is pretty fucking ridiculous that you'll ban Nick Fuentes from YouTube, and yet you'll have content that features him pushed at the front page of my subscription feed. What is that?
They thought you had a hankering for some gay catboy porn.
No, I mean, see that YouTube knows that I read the Chris Cantwell erotica, and now it's.
I will say that documentary has clips of
now it's all.
So it's better than ours. He doesn't go through the graphic details of the audiobook like we did. But it's worse than ours because he has second-long snippets of Chris Cantwell having sex with a twink. And you can hear it.
Oof.
But it's a great, well-researched documentary. What is it? TDT's channel on YouTube. Check it out. It's from Charlottesville to gay porn writer, the Chris Cantwell story or something like that. It's like a 2-hour long thing. It has a lot of background even I haven't explained because The man gets into fights everywhere he goes. Since I did that show about his gayness, right? I've had so many people contact me about his gayness. It's insane. There's like a whole community out there that is bonded by the fact that we think it's fucking hilarious and predictable that Chris Cantwell was a homosexual.
Well, of course. It's usually the ones who scream the loudest about like homophobia that usually are like gay themselves.
And Sam,
Facts.
he says he's setting up equipment. Now, I think that he's trying to hint that he's going to do a podcast again while he's literally on the run. If he does a podcast, I'm going to have to react.
If he does a if he does a podcast on the run, like props to him for actually doing that. Like,
yeah, props to him for helping me get him caught. Because that's what's going to happen. Anything. You fucking retard. Stop posting. You want some actual advice on how to get away with yourself? Stop trying to get attention. Stop posting on fucking Telegram. Wherever you are, get far away. Change your fucking name and hope to God nobody ever discovers it's fucking you. Because what you are doing, going on Telegram and telling people your fucking plans while you are on the run, is going to get you in jail for the rest of your fucking life. And I'm here for it, brah. You tell me all your dirty little fucking secrets. I will make sure to correlate them, collate them, put them in a fucking folder, and hand them to law enforcement to get your ass off the fucking streets. So I want them to do a podcast, Sam. I'll give them all the props in the world.
hell yeah.
So, you know, if you're one of those people that like stirring the pot, clip that and show it to him. Because if he continues his beg for attention while he's on the run, how do you think that turns out? How stupid is law enforcement, do you think, Sam?
Not stupid enough.
Well,
Not stupid enough.
yeah, well, considering that I know like a lot of actual law enforcement, folks, not very stupid at all.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, look, we've all seen like a true crime drama and the cops will drop the ball. That's not what I'm talking about here. They know who he is. They know he's guilty of the crime. The crime is fleeing multiple felony charges and fleeing bail. He left the facility, so he's violated the terms of his bail already. He is not going to have until the 30th his little hearing. On the 30th, they'll notice he's missing. Unless somebody's reported it already. And I think somebody probably would have, to be honest with you. I'm not in a relevant area like New Hampshire or the district he was in. So, very likely they wouldn't even take my call, you know what I mean? Unless Cantwell does something crazy like makes a threat or something. Because he's just fleeing, but he's only been fleeing a couple days, and they might not even have that in their records yet. Things happen, Sam. But what won't happen is that if he doesn't show up for court on the 30th, one, then he is on the lam for real, and they'll be looking for him. Two, if he does show up, they will understand that he has violated the terms of his bail and take it away, and he goes back to jail. Those are the only outcomes. If I were Chris Cantwell, I'd have turned myself in.
yeah, but he's not smart like you are.
Actually,
so
if I was Chris Cantwell, I would have finished the fucking rehab program like he was supposed to. But since he can't bring himself to fucking not get high every fucking second of every day on like Viagra pills and testosterone and MDMA and meth, he's going to jail. And frankly, I don't want him to kill himself. I want him to go to jail and face his trial. I'm worried that he might do that.
Well, someone And some would say that you're only concerned because you don't want your locale to die, to which I would say,
I have more than
so
him.
what?
Hold on, I didn't make content on Cantwell until this year anyway.
That's true.
No, I just don't wish death on anybody. Like, it's easier. Bro, if he went and offed himself, it saves my state and New Hampshire money, right? And it makes, like, the people that he's harassed would have a peace of mind. Like, it is the easy solution for Cantwell's story. But I just don't, that's not me,
Right.
man. I want him to go to jail and maybe get healthy and even make something positive of himself, even from fucking jail.
Yeah, what a concept. You actually want an actual redemption arc.
Yeah. So Cantwell, if you want to spend the rest of your life in jail, keep doing what you're doing, buddy, and make sure you post all of it all over the internet. Make sure you do that podcast. Tell us every little secret. We'll make sure that you get a nice new home in a nice new correctional facility, you fucking retard. Hopefully not in my state, so it's less out of our fucking tax-paying pockets.
That would certainly be nice if that were the case. If it
Well, it
didn't
could be New
affect you.
Hampshire. It's very likely to be New Hampshire. So, but yeah, that's the update on Cantwell. Cantwell is gay and on the run. He's considered to be very gay. Do not approach.
By the way, Max, I do want to give you a shout on a few things. The Cringe Coffee House compilations have been great. And you did a fantastic best of show, which of the Whitfield Report, which I enjoyed parts of this afternoon. However, my perhaps favorite Cringe Coffee House so far, just because it's so off the wall, bonkers, and I still need to finish the compilation, is Dice Golden.
Actually, Sam, I need to finish that one. It stopped halfway through the episode about his movie.
Yes.
And the movie is the one I wanted most to see because it's where I get beheaded, my character. And the ending of that movie is the most bonkers thing in the whole. So I'm going to do a part 2 because my stream shut down. I have 7 more episodes and it gets progressively crazier.
Yeah, so like that. So it wasn't. So then, you mean to tell me it wasn't just my feed that like froze? It was the entire.
No.
Okay.
So my question then: should I start the whole 4-hour episode over, or should I start halfway through?
Well, no, because here's my theory, Max. I have a theory. So I think that YouTube saw the part where Dice Golden, like, you know, the plot of well, there's no easy way to put this, but like one of the characters gets like violently sodomized.
And then the big reveal later is that he's like 9 years old or 8 years old.
Yeah, he's 8 years old, and I think at that point, like, not the YouTube moderators, but like the YouTube AI was just like, what the fuck?
No, it went for like an hour after that though. No, I'll start it from like about where it left off, and I'll just say continued from the last stream because I wanted it all in one. So it's a big train ride, with the Johnny Fox one. I still have to do Dave. Dave's definitely going to be multiple because my Dave episodes, when I looked at like all of them, if I include every bit of Dave, unique Dave content, not repeats, it adds up to something like 48 hours.
The thing about the Dice Golden episodes that I want to point out is like his movies should be like, I'm not saying that they're great, right? Like, but they're also
they should be worse than they are.
Yeah, they should be way worse than they should be way worse than they actually are. Like, I actually, for what they are, I enjoy the insanity.
Same.
Actually,
Yeah. So I'll continue. I wasn't sure if even I should continue it, but yeah, the craziest part is he spends
I,
like 15 minutes stabbing a fake head of me and screaming as the gay Rob character. He also gets I don't want to give out who it is. It's somebody you know really well though, Sam, is the character called Redneck. He's got a big bushy red beard. That's actually supposed to be our CEO. And but it's again like my character's nothing like me, his character's nothing like him. That's why he called him a redneck. He just decided he was a redneck, right? And that he must like
I,
meth because he's a redneck. So
yeah.
it's actually not him at all. It's just in his mind, he's like, this guy's a redneck, and I'm gonna make a character. He's Max's right-hand man, and I'm like a supervillain that lives in your head, and he's my dude that's just like, yeah. And meanwhile, I'm an immortal fucking troll demon that like transfers from brain to brain, tormenting my victims. Which is great. Like, bro, that's an awesome concept if it's somebody made it up about you. It's not the most unique. It's like Freddy Krueger or something, so it's not like super unique. But the fact that this kid conceived me as a demon that trolls you from inside your own head, and if I bully somebody, it spreads this is great. I feel like that is the highest honor a troll on the internet could ever have.
That's one of that whole concept of like a demon that lives in people's head and then trolls other people. That's straight out of it's been a few years, but that's part of Twin Peaks, the David Lynch series. The funny thing of it is though
David
is like
Lynch-esque like concept, isn't it? Yeah.
The funny thing is
that this kid knows anything about David Lynch.
Well, yeah, because I remember I was texting. I remember I was like messaging with you, and I was like, man, I'm like, this kid has a lot of like David Lynch influences, and you're like, that's the funny thing is I don't think he has any idea of who David Lynch even is. But then my other question though is like, do you think he actually like scripted any of this out, or do you think he was like do you think he's one of these guys who like just makes up the plot of the movie like as he's filming or something?
He scripts out the plot points, but the dialogue is improvised. But I've seen his like whiteboard of ideas, and scene by scene, he lays it all out. And he remembers every character.
Because
he has a diagram, Sam, of the characters and what each one wears in his little closet.
Because the idea of like an 8-year-old kid getting like locked up with like with like hardened killers, like that was one of those things where I'm like, okay.
His crazy house concept is wild, right? Because you feel like it's a prison because of the nature of it. But then he's like, oh, over there is the wing for the special ed kids. And they're all like supposed to be retards, he calls them. And so the retard wing is full of children with mental disabilities who are like innocent as fuck. For some reason, they're in the serial killer crazy house. Okay. And then there's the wing of just normal kid. They also just have normal kids. Okay. And then also they have, people that eat each other when they have riots every once a month. And did you get to the blowtorch scenes, Sam? Because those blowtorch scenes are something else. Is it cinema? Is it funny art? I don't know.
The funny thing of it is there was is on one of the streams that you played, you were like, "And I have to stop now because I have to go to a meeting." And at the point I had to stop, I too had to go to, like, a Zoom meeting for, like, other authors. And, I was like, "Man, that's crazy." So and then, yeah, when I tried to tune back in, that was when, like, the stream completely, like,
The movie was like
crashed.
the most demand I ever had to do something because I was like, oh, his movie's like 5 hours long, guys. And I generally like the audience for Cringe Coffee House at that point would fluctuate between maybe 10 and 100. And I got like 40 fucking messages out of that audience saying, you gotta watch the Dice Golden movie. You gotta watch it. I was like, it's 5 fucking hours. It's worth it though. It's worth it to watch myself get beheaded at the end. And I did put it on double speed.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is.
And
So
his videos after that, he made a lot shorter and like more easy to follow. So there's that.
yeah,
Because
well, you said that
after that
he's, like
movie part, Sam, there are 6 more Cringe Coffee House episodes about Dice after that. 6.
well, you said he's the only one that graduated from the Cringe Coffee
He
House,
did.
right? So
Actually, the tail end of it is heartwarming. I'll spoil it. I actually kind of have a moment with him.
well, so I'm curious, and, if it's a spoiler, then, don't give anything away, but what is it that made him, I guess, graduate? I guess.
Uh, it's hard to really say without spoiling it, but just his attitude as a creator. See, Dave puts stuff out into the world and he just thinks it's just fine as is. And so if you give him constructive feedback, it's never going to change anything. Johnny Fox exists in this same level, right? Even though you could say Johnny Fox is far smarter than Dave Grady, right? I don't think that's untrue to say at all, that Johnny
Yeah.
Fox is smarter than Dave Grady. But it's that same inability to understand that you're throwing yourself out there to the public at large, anybody who could say anything about what you're making, your art. And then B,
Right.
if somebody gives you feedback that isn't what you want to hear, can you take it earnestly and change for the better? Well, Dice Golden did that. And that's basically what made him a graduate. He graduated. I don't watch his content no more. Johnny Fox graduated in that he belonged to the Kiwi Farms. But then the guy that made his thread fucked it up because he like gave Josh a bunch of money like a weirdo to like read it. And it's not all that funny compared to like, it's Kiwi Farms, bro. Johnny Fox isn't Kiwi Farms material. I've always said this. He's Kiwi Farms material in 2014.
So I guess I would be curious to know, like, so you said you haven't watched any of, like, Dice's stuff since. Like, I think it would be
on a show.
Do you know if he's
I've watched some of his content.
Okay, so
I would only do another episode about Dice if I could convince him to come on and talk to me. I don't think it's fair to continue to point a finger at a kid that like did the thing, which is, like I said, be able to accept self-criticism.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying like do it. I'm not saying like do it in like a mean way, but like my whole thing would be like
he's a sensitive artist. He'll take it mean.
Okay.
Yeah, he will take it mean if I do another one. He probably took it mean that I did like a marathon, but bro, I have fucking 24 hours of great, hilarious content about it, so I ain't. It's a rerun, bro, and the ending is the ending. The ending is that he basically grew out of his edgelord phase and also embraced that his stuff is more horror, which is something that he refused to accept for the longest time.
That would see,
I have
like,
a different
to-
relationship with the subjects
Yeah.
of the Cringe Coffee House than your typical person has with a lolcow. I try to anyway, because I don't hate
Well,
them.
yeah.
I actually, in a lot of cases, I like them. I like Dave a lot. I think
No,
that Dave is a very misunderstood figure.
no, you actually do seem to like Dave.
I don't like Johnny Fox. I think he's a piece of shit, but he brought that on himself. Same with Campbell. Ian Fringe. Most of them bring it on themselves, but the ones that I like are the ones that I kind of invaded, and that would be Dave. That would be Dice Golden. I kind of invaded his world. You can see, I try to be an objective critic of it like it's regular art, right? But it's so off the wall that it creates, like, if you were watching a film and I was just critiquing the film, you know what I mean? That would be what the show is supposed to be. It's a little bit like an artistic breakdown. But when you're watching content that's as off the fucking wall as Dice Golden's, he's raping himself as different characters from multiple perspectives. He's having a fist fight with himself every 15 minutes. You saw him stab himself, Sam, right?
Oh, yeah.
He cut himself on the chest. Why? To bleed for his art. So what did I do? I taught him about fake blood, Sam. And if he was a crazy person like I had originally thought, he wouldn't take that on board, right? But he did. He was like, oh shit, I don't have to cut myself. Well, he never cut himself again. But he used mad fake blood. That's fine.
How old was he when he...
I have to estimate because he claimed to be 56. But his friend told me that he was probably 19 to 20, which seems about accurate.
Okay. Yeah, that makes...
I know he wasn't a minor, but he was... you can tell. He's clearly like a kid, so quote unquote.
Yeah.
I think he was 19 or 20. He might have been 18 at the youngest when it started, but that would put him now almost 30.
Okay. Oh, yeah, so roughly about my age then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because... Well, the reason I ask is, like, my friends who I was in Boy Scouts with, like, we made some, like, off the cuff, like, you know, action films just, like, using, like, flip video cameras, right? But
I made
they
Jackass
weren't...
style stuff too, right? Like, mine was way more off the wall probably than yours even. And yet I'm looking at this like...
Well, and the reason why I asked whether it was scripted even was because, like, the way we did our films, and unfortunately they're not... I wish we had the foresight to put them on YouTube, but we didn't. But it was more like we would shoot a scene and then be like,
Sam as a fucking secret agent now that he writes thrillers. That would be the... Sam, you need to get us that video. I want it. I'll put a bounty on it.
I wish... I actually... I'll have to look around and see if I even have, like, my original flip video camera. Still, I'm
gonna fucking contact his mom. Be like, yeah, get me every embarrassing video of young Sam. We'll play a marathon of that. Oh my god, that's the roast would be like a "This Is Your Life" Sam Whitfield. Oh, baby pictures, bro.
Me unfurling the toilet paper roll completely at like age 2. I keep getting blackmailed that's gonna be like playing at my wedding on a loop. So
well, it'd be better at the fucking roast celebrating your accomplishments.
Yeah. But no, that's why I had to ask, like, if the Dice Golden thing was, like, actually scripted or it was off the cuff, because
I talked to him
seems
in one
like
of the episodes after the movie, and he sort of, just in text, but he sort of tells me, and so this is in the episodes later on in your answer. He tells me that he records it all sequentially, right? Like in order. And that he has written down all of the plot beats for each person supposed to say without scripting it. So it's like gay Rob, dialogue about this. And then he's supposed to talk to Max, right? And so Max bullies gay Rob. And then gay Rob says, fuck you, Max. It's not scripted, but it's like plot points. And he has a board,
Right.
a whiteboard for it.
Yeah.
And then on the whiteboard also, he has a separate board that he keeps track of. Gay Rob wears these glasses and this shirt. And in his closet, it's numbered to like number 1 is gay Rob, and gay Rob's little outfit is hanging on hanger number 1. And so he knows if I go to block A on my chart, it's gay Rob talking to block B, which is Max. So I need number 1, and Max is number 13. Let me grab number 1 and number 13. He'll go over, he'll record scene 1 with gay Rob. Oh, Max, I don't like when you talk mean to me. Then he'll record scene 2, put the thing on, and he's Max now. He's got, as you know, Max Sand doesn't show his face anywhere, guys. And he puts this mask on over himself that it's green and has weird eyes. And so now he's Max, and Max is like, oh, you're a friggin' faggot. You're so stupid. You keep lying about your age. And then he'll go, okay, block C. He puts back on the gay Rob costume. And then he's like, oh, you're so mean, Max. I don't like when you bully me. Let's fight. And he starts punching the camera. Then he switches outfits, starts punching the camera with the mask on as me. And that's how he films his series.
That is like the ultimate one-man show, and that is like
way more
not
involved than you thought.
Yeah.
Well, like after watching, I'm like, man, this is like, and like, I guess that's partially why like it's better than I thought, because like
he's batshit insane, but it's great.
And
as someone
it's
who
consistent. The story is consistent. The characters
yeah,
are consistent.
that's the whole thing. Like yeah, my friends and I did like off the cuff stuff that was like also consistent, but like also there were like 5 of us, and we were like 12 to 14 years old at the time when we were
and it wasn't presented to the world without any filter at all. And that's what it is he was presenting his unfiltered art without anybody, including, like you're saying, friends to filter it through. Why do you think he gets to such extreme subject matter? He's constantly saying every slur in the book. It's always a murder. It's always a fight. It's always a rape. That's all his content is about, right? It's because he has no filter of anybody else to like filter. Hey, man, could we tone it down a little, or this is a little too extreme? And so you get his unfettered autism.
Yeah,
and
he does.
It's
like,
unique, like nothing else. I feel like I'm not gonna lie, and maybe this is pretentious, but I feel like without the Cringe Coffee House, his work was incomplete. Like that's the version to watch, because I don't context. Without context,
I don't
not grounded in reality at all, and it's a wild fucking ride.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I also though have to admit though that like I think, and I mean this as a comment, like I think he is an artist in the sense that like he was willing to take like, not in like criticism, but more like a critique, I guess, and improve upon,
Well, what you watched up to in that first marathon is the movie, and that's sort of the first stage of our relationship, I guess you'd call it, where he didn't want to hear anything I had to say, and he would actively not watch my critique because he decided that I'm just a hater, and anything that I say, I'm just being mean, right? And it was in a very childish way, admittedly. And he shut me down because I said I didn't believe he was 56 years old. Sam, you watched it. Do you believe he's 56 years old?
No.
No one does. And that's what I said. I was like, if you're wondering where that came from, it was a private conversation I had with him where and a couple other people were in the room, but it wasn't a stream. And I was like, guy, you're not 56 years old. We all can see that you're not 56 years old. And all your friends here know that too. And they just don't want to argue with you about it. And it doesn't matter to anybody how old you are. Nobody cares. And he's like,
Right.
he showed me a birth certificate that would have made him 56 years old. But Sam, thing about birth certificates, what did they have on them and not have on? Well, I'm sorry, what did they not have on them that would, make you able to identify somebody? A picture.
Yeah.
I could hold up anybody's fucking birth certificate and say, this is my birth certificate, right? That's what he did. So I was like, that doesn't prove your age. That proves you have somebody's birth certificate in your garage. And he got all mad and he said, I said, well, you could show an ID that would have your face on it, but you don't need to show me your ID. I just don't believe you. And he was like, I don't have an ID. And I was like, how do you not have an ID if you're 56 years old? Where do you live? You need an ID to rent a property or stay anywhere. How do you get a job? You need an ID for that. And he said, I live with my friends who pay for everything and I don't want to work. I never want to work. I want to be an actor when I grow up. And I'm like, yeah, that's like a 56-year-old.
I mean, I'm a Toys R Us kid.
I know lots of 56-year-olds that want to be actors when they grow up, Sam.
Oh yeah. Oh
They
yeah.
never want to work. Never in their whole life. That work's just not for him, Sam. And you see him say that stuff in his show. I think most of his show is him interpreting interactions he has with people in a very like violent, like very adolescent, teen boy, angry kind of lens. I think that's all it is.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's
No,
not
no.
as angry anymore, and he's grown up.
Yeah, yeah. No, it definitely it definitely screams like, here's my internal like teen angst, fantasy. So
Yeah, the gay
and
Rob
it's also
character,
like,
especially, right?
well, it's also like the teenage thing of like, I'm going to highlight like every taboo subject, possible because, I'm an edgy teenager. So there's gonna be rape, murder, and
Yeah.
all that
Blood and
stuff.
heavy metal.
So
Actually, after that movie, Sam, he actually found a local band that let him use their death metal. And I'm going to tell you, it adds so much to his future movies to have death metal in them. And also, the thing is, the movie is the culmination because after the movie, he watched my critique for the first time and he changed his content based on it after that. So maybe I should just do the second stream tomorrow, huh? During the day.
that's why I'm saying, like, I actually do admire him because, like, it, just like Shmuley kind of criticized, my first, like, Shadows of Deception book, and then I made the changes.
If ever anybody gave me a budget to make a movie, Sam, I would absolutely it would be a requirement for me to agree to any project that I would have to use Dice Golden as an actor in some variety and pay him for it. Because I think he deserves it if that's his dream. And I think I could make use of a kid like him in a film.
I could even like see like Dice Golden as like one of the like cartel bosses if Night of the Vigilante were to ever like be made into a movie. And I don't mean this as like an insult even. Like I could generally see him like being like an evil cartel boss and like playing it super like well.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter
So,
what project, I could find use for Dice Golden. So that would be
yeah,
like one thing. I'd also want to hire Dave, but I don't think that wouldn't work. Dave wouldn't do it.
yeah, yeah. Dave would be too off script. So
That though, I would love to do. I've thought of this. People are like, you should like a documentary about Dave, and I've thought about how I would go about that. And I think I have the best answer, but it would require like his consent to a degree I don't think he would give, and that would be to pay him, okay, and then go spend a day with him doing something good and positive, and film that and make that a documentary. But you got to pay him for it first and foremost. And it would have to be something Dave would really enjoy, like outside of the norm things he does in life. I have to think about what that is. Maybe I could take him to like the Hot Wheels factory. Chat, if you want to see me take Dave Grady to a Hot Wheels factory, donate for that. That would be fun.
I would tune into that just because, like,
Half the documentary would be me trying to get him to agree to do it.
Yeah, that would totally be it.
And then he'd have the time of his life, because if you don't know, he collects Hot Wheels cars. Oh, and then we could take him to the Prime Drink Factory, so he can get his special limited edition Logan Paul juice that he wants so bad. I don't know what kind, but he's mad because it's limited edition. He drove all over Della fucking Ware, Sam, and he can't even get himself some Prime Energy Super Tutti Frutti Strawberry Gay flavor. It's a
Does
crime.
it taste like
Aren't they all gay flavors?
Does it taste like pineapple though?
No. He likes the one that tastes like don't eat that. Yeah, he says a lot of that. Don't drink that. He also wants the Alani super mega fruity chuckle tropical ugly fructo punch sauce or something. Poor Dave. What with him being
more
addicted
power
to these fruity drinks and having severe diabetes and all.
More power to him, I guess.
That's why I would want to take him to the Hot Wheel factory. Maybe I shouldn't take him to a sugar drink factory on account of his diabetes.
Well, yeah, no, you don't want him to like crash out and die. Speaking of like epic crash outs, though, I heard Mersh had an epic crash out over like a $2 donation.
Nice. Those are the best kind.
Which I watched
well, I've heard of a $2 donation flip out. That goes back to like Stefan Molyneux was the favorite one. $2 fucking
yeah. Well, no, like that's why I wanted to highlight like at the beginning of the show, like I got the new mic that the audience, essentially paid for. And granted, the donation was like way more than $2. But even if it were, like I actually do use the money that people donate to the show to actually improve the show. I know that's a tough concept for some of you streamers out there. So
TSP
show.
But we
I don't understand. How do you improve what is perfect?
Well, we can make even more perfecter. So, which is totally a word that I did not just make
Double
up.
mega secret perfecter.
Exactly. Also, semi-breaking news. apparently, let's see here. Apparently, Trump is now saying that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of a peace plan.
Based.
So, according to Trump's True Social, well, let me just read this. I'm very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed upon line as the first steps toward a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, all surrounding nations, in the United States of America. And we thank the mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey who worked with us to make this historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers, Donald J. Trump. And
Thank you for
you
your
know,
attention
Max,
to this matter. Sorry.
Can we send Hassan Piker over as part of the deal?
No, that'll ruin the deal. Nobody wants him
yeah,
over there.
no more.
Damn it!
Yeah, no more. Yeah, no more. I mean, nobody wants Assad. Are you kidding?
Not even his dog. Hassan's dog
yeah,
tries
not
to
even.
leave. He's gonna shock him.
I mean, even say even like I wonder even if Satan would want Hassan. Even that might be a little like.
Yep. There was a.
Well, Satan took Saddam Hussein.
That's dope.
Oh man, that is dope, Max.
And if you wanted the the assassination panel, that's it right there. It's not super graphic, admittedly, but it is graphic enough to get it across. And I actually like the reactions from the people in the church all around it. Is a really cool way to do that. Because it was in front of an entire congregation. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
And we can't even get, Trump, look, thanks for all the other 60s assassination documents, but where's the Malcolm X docs? He was assassinated. I'd like to see what other information is, because I think it's important that this man was shot down and would have maybe contributed a lot more to society. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't often wonder like how much history would have changed, but like he certainly is one of those deaths where I'm like, what if he had been like, how would the 60s have like changed? And
the Black Panthers probably wouldn't have been as dominant a force. I'm not going to lie. They were a response to his death.
Yeah.
And as you know, they were kind of militant and kind of got themselves in a bit of trouble.
Yeah. Speaking of the 60s as well, I know you know this because you saw Eric Bishop's tweet about this, but Jack Carr released Cry Havoc this week, which is his new novel about the Special Operations Group unit that served in Vietnam. And those guys, I've been saying for years, the SAW groups never got the credit that they deserved for what they did in not just Vietnam, but in Laos and Cambodia as well. So I'm working my way through it. Probably, I would say, actually better than the Terminalist novels that take place in present day so far, and I'm hoping that we get some more.
Well, I know the rollout of it has been, huge, like blowing up the charts and stuff. It's always cool.
Yeah, and
more independent-minded authors.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that Jack is big with, you know, Simon and Schuster, but I will also say this.
I said
If
independent-minded. See,
well, yes, he certainly is, and I will say this: if you think he's just going to criticize the Russians and the communists for their actions, you know, in the Cold War, well, then you would be mistaken, because he definitely criticizes, you know, the Americans, and particularly, you know, LBJ. So,
yeah. See, there's another one. I wonder what Malcolm would have thought of how LBJ turned out. He called him a snake.
yeah,
He said the civil rights bill would end up being a trap too. Unless they fixed the welfare state issues that were already prevailing the black community, they were doomed. That's what he said. Fatherlessness. He warned of fatherlessness, Sam. Can you imagine? What a crazy concept. Said kids needed dads.
it's actually a bit eerie at how spot on he was.
Yeah. If you want to
So,
check it out yourself, you can get it dirt cheap online. It's just a comic from back in the day, but I wanted to share it because I thought it was cool. Malcolm X, By Any Means Necessary, comic book from 1993.
no, I appreciate it. I actually might have to add that one to my collection.
I already feel like it was worth breaking the seal and taking a look, right? Even though, yes, this was mint until I just opened it. It feels like, I don't know, at a $10 comic, that's like double its face value, but it's 30 years old. It ain't going to get much more valuable than that.
Well, and I appreciate you sharing your present with us.
Thought it'd be something
So,
cool, you know.
yeah.
So certainly, I'll
So,
probably take some cool, like, high def pictures of the art and throw it on Twitter for anybody that wants to see.
yeah.
That'd be awesome.
So, well, and that's also kind of why I wanted to share the story of, you know, again, the audience, you know, purchasing the microphone, and, you know, in honor of Charlie Kirk, really. Well, and, you know,
Well,
that's the other
you
thing
good
too
work,
is,
Sam, and you deserve, you know, the recognition. I always try and make sure to recognize the hard work you've put in over years over here. The Whitfield Report, long since predated my ass, and will probably outlast me.
well, let's hope that's only because let's hope that's only because I outlive you by many, many years. So,
Well, regardless, you know, you do great work. You've been working hard with the books, man. You've been prolifically writing, and the people appreciating the content you put out. It's less surprising than you think. And I think it's wonderful they did that for you, because I know how much a new microphone means to you. As well, the donor, who's maybe more of a personal nature, that gave you the chair, you know. It's because you deserve it, man. People recognize that you're a guy that works his butt off.
yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I do recognize that, you know, that I work hard with this show and with the books and whatnot, and like I said a few weeks ago, like I am working on the fifth book of Shadows of Deception right now, American Inferno, which actually does kind of heavily focus on the
And if
Charlie
you're
Kirk
drunk, it sounds like
assassination.
American porno.
It which could be actually the porn
What
parody of
One day I'm gonna be fucking drunk on the stream and check out Sam's book, American Porno. Ah, fuck. American Inferno.
And then you know and then also
American Gigolo.
that'll be the parody. Which, speaking of, Morpheus brought this to my attention earlier, but apparently OnlyFans girls are now rebranding themselves as TikTokers. According to
According to
more,
the post that I saw earlier.
Well, yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
less bad, like immediately, because the guy actually has to go to TikTok and see you driving to OnlyFans to know.
Yeah.
Also,
I don't know.
Also, they might just do TikTok nudes for fucking Venmo, so that they can cut OnlyFans out entirely. So you gotta think
That's-
like a hoe,
Right.
Which
See,
I
OnlyFans
think
over
like
here
a
getting
hoe.
a cut. Venmo ain't getting nearly as much of a cut, you see, and neither is TikTok, so they can inquire within. How many of them are using AI bots to make the dirty pictures, Sam, do you think?
About half of them.
Yeah.
probably about half of them. I actually, that's the other thing that's kind of been wild this week is I guess like people have been posting some wild Sora videos that have come out there. There was like a Sora video I saw today of Abraham Lincoln fighting Adolf Hitler at WrestleMania.
I remember that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I was like I was there, man.
Yeah, that was like WrestleMania 06 or something. I remember watching that on TV. Abe Lincoln just pounded, Hitler with his stovepipe hat. So
That's true. But you got to watch out because Hitler will try and stick a swastika up your ass.
well, I mean, yeah, as we discussed, all Nazis are gay, so yeah, that's not surprising at all.
So Nazi, it's gay. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
You might say, but Max, what about the Nazi chicks? Well, they must be gay. They're Nazis. That's like a definitional thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
It's a word association game, It seems to be true most of the time. Now we should just have we should start what do they call that? Maui or shipping or whatever, where you should take the Nazis and start pairing them off. So like Chris Cantwell likes twinks, so he's clearly hooked up with Nick Fuentes. Right?
Yeah.
You call it Nickwell. Eh?
They would actually.
They should team up legitimately and write gay porn.
Yeah, that would actually unironically be like not a bad team up.
The ultimate Cantwell ending is for him to just become famous as a gay porn writer, right?
Oh my god, then he would go mainstream in Hollywood. And then he would be super
that would be I wouldn't even be mad, man. I'd think that is hilarious.
And then he would be super confused too because all the alleged Jews that run Hollywood would love him.
They're like, "Oh my god, I love your fucking work. Oh, it's so good. I love the plot about when you both fucked the toy together. It was great. We're gonna make a film of this, Mr. Cantwell."
Yeah.
And the funny part is that's exactly how he talks. Have you heard about this? Have you seen this? He talks like the most Jewish person I've ever heard. Like if you wanted to stereotype a Jew, you would just talk like Cantwell.
No, I actually I did hear a few of his phone conversations with Dave when Dave used to call in, and I was like, "Wait, that's Cantwell?" And I'm like, "How is Cantwell an anti-Semite? He sounds like he sounds like a
He's
New
from
York
Long
Jew."
Island. He's
Yeah.
from Long Island. His best friend is from a Jewish family, Eddie Dunn. Like, yeah, his entire neighborhood is Jewish. That's he would say that's why he doesn't like Jews. I would say I don't know, but he definitely talks like the most. It's funny, right? Because like another, like the Nazi conspiracy theory. Now, my conspiracy theory about Nazis is that they're all just gay, closeted homosexual men. But
Right.
the Nazi theory about Nazis is that they're all secretly Jewish, which is very funny because if you listen to some of the more famous Nazis like Mike Pinovich and Chris Cantwell, they either are part Jewish, like Pinovich, or they sound very Jewish. They're from New York City. And so then it's easy to accuse them of being Jewish, you see. And it seems a funny thing to do when you look like the most Jewish person ever to become a Nazi. But that's what Cantwell did. And, you know, God bless him. I don't know if he is Jewish, actually. I talked to his family. It didn't exactly come up. They don't like him. What would you? I wonder what they think. Oh my God, he's publishing gay porn. His poor mother. Oh my God, his poor mother and father. You know, like they're super like uptight about that kind of shit. That's why he would be like that. But oh no.
Oh yeah, so it would be like the ultimate rebellion.
They already
type
changed
thing.
their name so they wouldn't be associated with him, Sam. Now he's publishing gay pornography from jail. If I ever become that bad of a parent, shoot me. My God. I'm sorry to them because I think they're really nice people, but how? How does your child go?
I'm sure they ask themselves that same question fairly frequently, Max.
I guess meth. It's a hell of a drug.
I guess.
Yeah. You've only smoked a little meth, so you wouldn't know. Sam's a meth kind of guy. I got accused of doing meth, Sam, because I smoked this here pipe. The drag queen that was calling me a poser said that I was gonna die of a heart attack because of smoking, which is ironic because I had a heart attack already and I didn't die, and that I was smoking meth. So I feel like I might be smoke my tobacco out of my pipe on the stream again just because it's gonna kill me with meth.
Oh yeah, because that's clearly a meth pipe.
Yes,
yeah,
totally. This is certainly the type of apparatus one would partake of methamphetamines out of, and
yeah,
this is exactly what meth looks like, right? It looks like a brown substance that you would roll in a cigarette.
Yeah, because clearly that's all meth heads
partake in
do.
This meth.
So
subtle hints
by the way
in that meth.
By the way, of all the things that the stream could get suspended for on YouTube, the last time I checked, smoking was, one of the things that was forbidden, which is weird.
Sorry,
Nah, I don't care. I
usually try to not bring attention to it. That's how I handle that.
No, I find it funny that of all the things YouTube could get upset at someone for smoking, is.
Let's make smoking great again. Used to be
I
like
mean,
cool people smoked. Now cool people smoke,
yeah.
but uncool people tell them they're not allowed. We should not be letting uncool people tell us what to do.
No, I actually have like characters in my books that smoke. And I get people who are like, but Sam, nobody at the CIA would smoke these days. And I'm like, how would you know?
What are they, gay?
I mean,
I love that because the implication to any non-smoker is going to immediately be like, what the fuck are you trying to say? No, I will say this. Smoking does, like, this is a proven thing, or nicotine just generally, raises your testosterone. That's a proven fact. You can point out negatives all you'd like, but that's a fact. It also is a stimulant, so, energy.
yeah.
I don't know. If I like enjoying a good tobacco in a good pipe, or even rolled in a cigarette. We roll our own with the.
Well, I can tell you this. And if my mom was watching, I apologize that you're finding out about this way, but I did smoke in college, not often, but during finals week, it was always a good way of helping me study for exams. So,
Oh yeah, meth will do that.
well, you misspelled tobacco.
Well, no, but
Meth.
Sam, you missed the bit, right? The drag queen said that this is a meth pipe, so clearly.
Yeah. Well, no, that would explain why I'm so calm all the time, because I'm doing so much meth that it helps calm me when I'm writing papers and whatnot. Totally. Because that's the effect that meth has, right? Is that it calms you down. Yeah, totally.
It often allows me to focus,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally.
The mild euphoria. If you get the right meth blend, the kind, of course, that looks, suspiciously like tobacco. Well, there's of course this too, but that's a whole different.
I hear that's the most potent blend of meth that you have. You have to be careful of the meth that looks like tobacco. Max.
It's true.
That's like the worst you can get, allegedly.
What I should be doing, Sam, is dressing in drag, apparently. That would make me very punk rock. It's not going to happen.
I mean, well, in all seriousness, though, considering that, like, wouldn't dressing in drag be like wouldn't that be like the ultimate corpo move now, though? Since, like, corporations are like,
give it a couple years and actually know, like, maybe they'll be right again, because everybody seems to think it's not cool. It's not cool to trans your kids no more. It just ain't. It's out of style. Trans your kid, nobody likes it. Wearing dresses in public as a man, everybody's like, that shit's lame. So eventually it will be punk and rebellious again, where it belongs, out on the fringes of society amongst a bunch of freak degenerates who don't bother anybody. But until that day, I hope to bring it all back around, I hope we get a House Un-American Activities Committee going and put some of these Antifa motherfuckers in prison. where they belong. Work camps, even.
Yeah.
I'd accept work camps because then they'd provide some value. Or an asylum
Yeah,
where they get nice lodgings but must work. Antifa. It sounds like the perfect solution to their problems. They'll have everything they want. The state will provide just like they want. The state will provide their food and their medical care and their housing, all the commie shit, right? And in return, they got to work just like a fucking commie. Asylums are perfect for commies, Sam.
Yeah, and they'll also be in a they'll also be in a community just like they want,
And they'll be surrounded by homosexuals, like completely.
Yeah.
All the dick you can suck, bro. Now, if that sounds like you and you're Antifa, we got a place for you. If that doesn't sound like you, well, then we got to get the people that like that into that place so we can all move on with our lives.
Yeah. The rest of you, the rest of you can do other things.
Sam, I'm thinking outside the box now. What if we advertised it as the biggest pride parade of all time to fuck Donald Trump and diversity-a-thon? Right?
Oh my God.
And they're all gonna show up. You gotta it'll be like a pilgrimage, right? It'll be the biggest pride parade of all time. We get them all there, right? And it's an asylum.
I mean that sounds like the ultimate, pride
It's like a
parade.
reverse Trojan horse kind of deal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shoot, Max,
Who better to lead throwing the biggest pride event in human history than Chris Cantwell? He's notorious for throwing events, Sam. We all know about his events.
Oh my God, yeah.
Nick Fuentes will be there. Milo. You get Hassan's gonna go. He has to because it's a diversity-a-thon or whatever. Oh yeah, and also Free Palestine. You gotta put that too. Free Palestine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they'll all be there, as will the Queers for Palestine, all of those folks.
Drag queens for touching kids and all this stuff. They'll all go. And we'll get them in a big asylum, and then we'll be like, look, brah, now you get a job. We're tending the farms. You see? Because we had to deport all the illegals that you guys let in, so we gotta pick up the slack around here. And if you want your commie lifestyle with your free lodging and your free health care and your free food, we'll give that to you too. You don't get your free dumb because you're a commie and you're dumb. But you can work through the sweat of your brow and produce stuff for the fucking rest of society, and then we'll let you have your little bag of rice like a commie. Sound good?
Yeah, I mean they want to produce for the state, so.
And while you're there, look, you can be all the gender demi-queer nonsense you want to be, right? You can be diverse, you can be a social democrat, all that shit, as long as you be picking the cotton and the rice and the fucking vegetables and all that shit, and not slacking.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you can have your what do they call it, struggle sessions, and you can have your snuggle sessions and all that shit, but you gotta stay put. You gotta be productive. And no more of this revolution shit. It ain't allowed no more. That's enough. See, we need dads, Sam. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it sounds like a good deal. And for the rest of you who don't want to be communists, you can support freedom literature by purchasing Sons of the Assassin.
Buy this book too. It might learn something. We don't want to limit our audience. As much as I might want to put them in an asylum, they can still buy your book, Sam. That's capitalism, damn it.
Well, that's true. However, if communists do buy the books, we might have to release a few of them from the asylum, because reading Sins of the Assassin will improve your patriotism for America. I don't know if you know this.
It's actually been shown in our offensology studies to reverse the effect known as micropenicism in beta males.
Yes.
This is cutting edge research that we're doing. I don't have the paper yet published. This is just what we're seeing internally, is that guys with a micropenis, or what's known as is really, really small dick, right, who are exposed to the proper amount of Sins of the Assassin by Sam Whitfield, it actually grows several inches overnight. It's remarkable, Sam. We're going to look to publish soon. But until then, it's not FDA approved. Buy Sins of the Assassin.
Well,
we haven't tested that one yet.
I'm sure I could make a few calls, and maybe I could send a copy to Bobby Kennedy Jr. and see what he thinks. Maybe it'll cure the voice thing that he's got going.
Well, as pain relief, I highly recommend pregnant women, instead of taking Tylenol and risking autism in your baby, what you should do is buy a copy of Sins of the Assassin, and when you're in pain, you can read that as a comfort. And so the baby will actually get smarter and more based.
That's
without the risk of autism.
That is awesome. Well, I do know that my cousin read his son The Fourth Estate, which is my second book, while his wife was pregnant. So, and that kid is only like a year old now, and he's smart as whip. So what does that tell you?
It tells you that he is already on pace to be the overlord of the future. And so if you want your kid to stand a chance, you got to get your copy of Sins of the Assassin right now. Start reading before you even conceive him.
That is true. And that'll guarantee that you get your wife pregnant. If that's the case. So.
Oh yeah, it certainly. Well, it can't guarantee 100%, but it can certainly raise your rates in the tens of percentages, especially if you're in the lower end. Like I said, the micro penis guy growing several inches overnight. This is remarkable, Sam. And all you need to see that kind of results is to take your chance. Buy a copy of Sins of the Assassin. Let us know.
Available in paperback, ebook, and Audible. So, and my God, if you listen to Doug Green read Sins of the Assassin, then that'll just increase your testosterone. So
it has a multiplicative effect.
Yeah. So buy the paperback and the audiobook, because you want to double the effects. So.
Oh, but it's book 4. So make sure that you get the collection of books 1, 2, and 3 so that you're up to date and you get the full effect of IQ growth, testosterone growth, penis length growth, and every other crazy thing that I promise this book will give to you. Because trust me, bro.
Well, the
Assassin.
Yeah, and trust me, bro, is the best sort of trust, right?
That's right. If you don't trust your bro, who do you trust, Sam?
That actually is a very good question. Who can you trust if you don't trust your bro? But anyway, well, any other topics or news of the week that we missed? We even had breaking news with the whole with the peace deal that just broke. That's some good uplifting news to kind of, counteract the last few weeks. So,
Mega Bonk. That's
oh
it. That's
yeah.
all I got. Is just Mega Bonk.
What is going on this week for Bits and Bones? Or do you not know yet?
Honestly, don't know yet because there's nothing that's stuck out to me as far as the quote unquote big topic that needs to be talked about like last week. But I'm sure we'll find out, figure out something. Just nothing that sticks out right now.
I do know that the woke people out there are flipping out over Saudi Arabia
Yep.
taking over EA, which
They
never thought I would be
last week.
which I never thought I'd be rooting for the Saudis, but
Right?
I mean, I guess yeah.
I've been rooting for the Saudis since they started working with WWE because if you actually pay attention, they've been working really hard at certain things to try and make themselves respectable, and I don't think that's something we should punish.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you on that.
Joe Biden's
so.
stance on fucking Saudi Arabia, we talked at length about. We all disliked it, that he treated them poorly. And I like to see businesses making deals over there. I think some of the events that they're going to throw with with TKO, when now they're combining the force of like promoting wrestling, UFC, and boxing, and other things as well that they're dabbling into. You think about that?
Yeah, golf.
Yeah, they can promote some huge events in that country that people will travel to for sure.
Yeah, and one. I mean, they
WrestleMania. I mean, whether you like it or not, WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia is happening next year.
Well, they also discussed. I mean, as we discussed on Bits and Bones,
7, I believe. Sorry.
I mean, that's only like 2 years away.
Yeah.
So
next year is Vegas. Then it's Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. I think that the Riyadh shows are without the political crybaby shit. I always enjoy the Saudi Arabia shows. Sometimes the matches aren't as good as they should be, like because they be bringing people out of retirement for those shows sometimes that shouldn't. Like Goldberg, Undertaker was god awful. The Shawn Michaels when he came out of retirement was fucking terrible. But there's been a lot of great matches on those cards, and I like the crowd. They've also come a long way with how they present the women's wrestling, considering it's Saudi Arabia. They basically get to wear their regular attire now, and they've main evented shows in Saudi Arabia. Does the left give them credit for those progresses in a country that's been severely restrictive of women at the same time that they're allowing women to go out in public on their own? They're allowing women to drive. They're also allowing women to compete in sports like wrestling in front of, and UFC as well, in front of crowds in Saudi Arabia. Is it perfect feminist utopia? No, but you'd think feminists would see that as progress, right?
You would think,
the problem is feminists only give a flying fuck about the U.S.
They're still crying about Jamal Khashoggi, and I'm sorry, but the old man that had him offed is not the fucking he's not in charge anymore. The Crown Prince didn't do that. I don't know why people are fucking freaking. They don't know anything about Saudi Arabia, it seems like. There's things you could say the Crown Prince might have done, but Jamal Khashoggi isn't one of them. I don't think.
Yeah,
I think his old man did.
I mean, the whole thing is like.
Also, Jamal Khashoggi was an anarcho-communist, not just some journalist. He was the biggest he's the biggest thorn in their side and promoting like full-on left-wing. That's why they are mad he got killed.
Yeah.
I don't think he should get killed for being a journalist. However, I mean, Saudi Arabia, especially at the time, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is a bit old school, man. What do you want? But that's the thing, is that the Crown Prince, bin Mohammed, the guy now who's in charge, compared to his dad, is like super progressive, bro. Why do you think he's doing all? They're calling it sports washing. He's trying to show our country is a modern country. It's not some backwater.
Yeah, and yeah, well, and also like, and
And it's
also
not
people
a
are,
backwater.
and also people are mad because Jared Kushner has, which like which hey, look, I like, I actually like Jared Kushner, and I'm curious. I'm curious as to like what he would think about the peace deal that's going through, because when he was on oh, I can't remember the podcast, but he basically like outlined his idea for a peace deal with between Israel and Hamas. It seemed pretty good to me at the time. So, but anyway,
Any peace deal's a good deal, Sam.
yep, I would certainly agree with that. So, Bits and Bones Friday will
Yep, Friday, 10 p.m. EST.
again topic TBD, and then Sandwich Makers Saturday night. I understand you guys took the weekend off this past weekend for your birthday, but I'm sure you guys will be back to.
I made beef stew and drank beer instead of making sandwiches.
Awesome.
And so I guess we'll be making
So
sandwiches. Although now I say that, now that we did the VR thing where we're making sandwiches, I can't just say that as a catch-all, can I? Because then people might expect that's what... I don't know what we're doing. She hasn't told me, and I didn't ask.
well, I still wanted to promote the Sandwich Makers because hey, it's it's a good
Check out.
show, and
We've done a lot of content this last season that people might find very fun. Check out some of the older episodes, some of the fun shit we've done in VR. We've literally had a sandwich making and food fights. We've fought boxing matches, and we've investigated. It's been a lot of fun. I've been sitting in as sort of her co-host, and it's been a lot of cool content. So we'll come up with something. I will tomorrow finish the Dice Golden Marathon sometime in the morning, Sam. So
awesome.
Golden second half of the saga, probably starting right up in the middle. I'll find basically when it cut off, and I'll just put a text thing continued from last part or whatever at the beginning.
That's awesome.
And
so and then
through the rest of that, there's like 6 more episodes that'll be tomorrow, and then the last Cringe Coffee House marathon I have left prepared would be Dave, and that will take time.
And then I know I didn't have a Monday show this past week because I was waiting for my new gear to arrive, which I now have. But there will be a Monday show this week. I'm looking at getting a few authors. I'm looking at maybe a few authors who I'm waiting to hear back from. So I do want to announce that FX Reagan will be on the show at some point, either later this year or next year. But he's going through some personal issues at the moment, so that's the only reason why he hasn't been on the show yet. We have
big
talked.
Friend of the show, and so obviously whatever it might be, his prayers go out for FX Reagan.
Yeah. So, but thanks to him and everyone who's everyone in the author community who supports my work as an author and as a podcaster. We really appreciate you all.
And if you listen to the show, as some people that do, and you're an independent artist yourself, let us know. We'd love to share your work.
Yeah. Even if you want to come on and talk about your work, even if you're not an author, if you're an indie artist or a creator of any kind, we'd love to have you on, whether that be on a live show or on the Monday show. So reach out to either one of us or to the or on the RTO media account. So, but anyway, I think that'll do it for tonight's show. So thank you all for tuning in, and I will talk to you on the next episode. Later, Gators.
Don't be gay. Unless you're gay, then it's cool. We're still on after that? Oh, God. Oh, now I'm all alone after I said that. Thanks a lot, Sam. You leave me hanging on.
You made Rumble. You made Rumble get Sammy.
Okay, fine. Do be gay. If it will fix this, you can be as gay as you want. I said it was okay if you already were. What did I do to deserve this, Sam? Oh, God. It's all over. Oh, yo, you're back. Cool.
And of course, it decided to freeze right as I was ending the show.
That's okay.
That figures,
I
but
corrected
anyway,
myself, and now we're okay. You're back.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm back to end the show, so we'll see you next week, folks.
The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Thank you for watching the Whitfield Report live on the Right to Offend Media Network. Make sure to check out Sam's books on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. You can follow Sam on X at SamW_NGC and the Right to Offend Media Network at RTO Media. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your